I could hear. Hey, Keeler, I'm just wondering.
Can you spare a beer?
Can you spare a beer?
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay. Good morning. What a mild start to a day where we're going to actually get a little freezing rain maybe tomorrow night into tomorrow morning and the drive-in tomorrow morning. So that won't be necessarily fun, but it is mild right now.
It certainly is. 34 degrees. It's rare that we get a day, especially in early February or late February, that we start out where it's above freezing. I will say this, though. Based on the forecast that I've been seeing.
If you look forward.
Yeah. So what does your phone say the high is tomorrow?
The high tomorrow is... Well, if I listen to you, it's going to be 50. I have 41 as the high tomorrow.
Okay, the National Weather Service tells me 41. My phone yesterday told me 46. Today, now it's telling me tomorrow's high is 49 degrees.
Wow.
How is it almost 10 degrees off from the National Weather Service with this happen?
What app do you use?
It's just whatever.
It's the Apple
Apple
weather app.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I look at that, it tells me tomorrow's going to be 85. I'm kidding.
It's telling me 49 Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell what tomorrow is. Oh, I see, Thursday. Yeah, this app says 50 tomorrow, 50 on Friday. But the National Weather Service does not say the same thing.
National Weather Service says 41 tomorrow and 40 on Friday. That's a full 10 degrees off.
Yeah. I wonder why all of a sudden the National Weather Service, if you go to their website and their app, they keep issuing a gale watch for us in Oneida County. Why does that keep happening?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I have a gale watch for tomorrow. A small craft advisory is in effect right now. I mean, other than a couple of ponds in Oneida County, because Sylvan Beach is not in Oneida County, right?
Is part of it in Oneida County?
I don't. Maybe I don't think so. I don't think Sylvan Beach is. Either way, it doesn't affect where we are right now in southern Oneida County.
It is in Oneida County.
Okay, well that's why we get the gale watch apparently. So don't take your boat onto Oneida Lake because there's a gale watch in effect right now. Tonight, Syracuse takes on Florida State. Davey, what are your thoughts on tonight's game? And, man, Boeheim is interview after interview, in fact, did a radio interview on Monday night and said, I've always said it's the university's choice whether or not I am coaching here. Wow.
Yeah, wow. Let's hope they come out and play like they did on Saturday.
Well, this has turned into quite the controversy for Jim Boeheim. I'm very interested to see how the team will react to it. Talk about tonight's game, Davey.
They're playing a good Florida State team who's very good, and they got to come out, like I said, hopefully they come out and play with the momentum from Saturday.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what the post-game press conference is like, if he's going to get any other questions from the Florida media down in Florida.
Oh, and you know he will.
Yeah.
And how does he react to that? I don't know. How did this turn into such a controversy?
I almost think part of it was driven by, first of all, he was out of line with his accusation. Or maybe he wasn't. I just think they have to acknowledge that you have, what do they call them, boosters? Boosters out there saying, I have money set aside to pay guys who come to Syracuse. Again, I think there's an important distinction here. When you talk about they can do endorsements, who's the guy? He does the quarterback, Schrader, does car commercials for somebody.
Nye,
right?
Right.
What's he being paid for? He's being paid to endorse the dealership and sell cars via commercials. But if you're just paying them, what are you paying them for? I just think that's a really gray area that kind of doesn't sit well with me, especially when you have all this betting that's going on.
Yeah.
I hate to assume the worst in anybody, but at least I can say with the Schrader situation, I know what he's being paid for. Okay. The second thing is, so his accusation against them, I think he was out of line. But I almost think part of this is the arrogance. Some people think it's arrogant. I'm not suggesting it is. Maybe it is. That it's arrogant that he says, basically, look, I call my own shots. I go when I want to go. I stay till I want to stay. Okay, because it seems like he's in charge.
Yeah.
And that he's not, there's not a command post, essentially. You have the president, the athletic director, and all that stuff. So maybe that's biting him. I do find it very interesting. He came out and said, as I've said before, I need to clarify, the university determines how long I'll be here. I don't believe that.
As I've always said, it's the university that determines my employment, and I've never said anything differently. I may have worded it a little incorrectly. Maybe I was a bit wrong.
He said he was reacting to
a
a question about his retirement.
Right.
So
I think what happened is he was angry at the question, and he answered in a way that was I almost as if you'll answer in a way that you know is going to anger the person who asked the question, and kind of like an in-your-face type thing. And then he left it there, not thinking it was going to go anywhere, and it did. So it is what it is, right?
I almost think, again, this could be the way it came off, the I'll do whatever I want to do. But let's be honest, though. Don't you think if Boeheim walked into the president's office or whoever he deals with directly, the athletic director, and said, look, I'm going to stay 5 more years and then I'm going to call it a career, that they wouldn't go, well, Jim, we'll reassess after 3.
Yeah.
He's been there long enough to call his own shot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's arrogant for him to talk about it.
I think
like
this is
that.
all about the fact that they had a losing season last year for the first time, and that they're heading in the wrong direction this year right now. So it's all about winning. If he was winning right now, I don't think we'd be having this conversation.
I think that's a very valid point.
You ever wonder why we change things? Like when we had traveled to Europe and we went to Westminster Abbey, which is where so many things have happened.
It's a church, right?
It's a gigantic church.
Oh,
It is. So, and you tour the place. You tour it, and as you're walking through, you'll see where kings and queens have been buried that go way, way back in English history. But what I find interesting is you walk into one area, and it dates back to the year 1100. Just think about that for a moment.
wow.
The year 1100. And it's still the same. Yet we find it compelling to say, boy, our inspection stickers just don't look right. Why don't we spend a lot of money and change them? Why?
I don't know.
You wonder, why not just leave some? Imagine how much it's going to cost to change the inspection stickers. I'm sure there was a study. Let's study to determine if we should change the sticker. But now New York State is changing its inspection sticker.
Is there a justification? Is it so that in the broad daylight, the cop from across the street
I
can see
wondered
that you're
about
out of
that.
date?
Is there something that will assist people or assist police officers in catching people who do not change their sticker, who do not do their inspection? Maybe that's the case. I don't know, but New York State's inspection stickers are about to change.
I mean, if they put in like a little chip, right?
Well, there is a what do you call the little square, and you can point up to the square that. That
the
is
code, the QR code.
The QR code. There is a QR code. So, but couldn't they just add that to the normal sticker?
I would think they would. I wish there was a little chip in it so that, because you look at it every day, you take it for granted. It's one of those hiding in plain sight type situations. I mean, I think last year I got pulled over and the cop was nice and he let me go, but I was like 4 months over on my inspection.
And he let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually in that situation, as long as you get it fixed, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But, if you're speeding and you're not inspected, you're probably going to get that ticket too.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm being completely honest, I said, sir, I've actually just made an appointment. I've got to go Wednesday.
And you were 4 months over.
Yeah.
Well, good police officer. They're decent people too.
Yes.
If you live in New York and you drive a vehicle, you're going to have to ultimately change your inspection sticker. It happens every year. This year, however, it's going to look different. And it
It's
does
just going
have
to look different. There's no benefit.
It does have a QR code. The color you said is going to change depending on the expiration date.
Yeah, but they do that now, I believe. I believe your month.
I think it does.
Yeah. Changes the color. Now, here's the thing, too. The point I was going to make about having a little chip in there was that because I see it all the time, but it just kind of, you're numb to it.
Yeah.
So that when you turn on the car and it says, your inspection expires next week, or a phone app where it texts you and says.
It would be nice, a little reminder.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's right on the dash. I mean, come on, Manaski.
How many times, though, has someone been stopped and they've been told, this vehicle hasn't been inspected, and you're like, oh, my God, I didn't even realize it.
Exactly.
I think that happens more often than not. Michael says, it's rather rich that Jim Boeheim complains about transgressions in college basketball. Last time I checked, under his watch, Syracuse got sanctioned twice.
I mentioned this yesterday. I
Yeah.
mean, no doubt a Hall of Famer, but there's not. It's not like they've gone without violations and improper activity with the basketball team.
Here's a topic we're going to hit this morning, and it is medical marijuana. Where are we going with medical marijuana? There was a story that came out earlier this week that said those who smoke marijuana might need more anesthesia when going into surgery. That's kind of interesting. Like almost as if their nerves or their nervous system was numbed already a bit, that the anesthesia didn't affect it. But that's interesting. We'll speak with Dr. Shemileski coming up in a second from the Falcon Clinic and talk about medical marijuana and the effects and one thing that you will have an issue with, or you might have an issue with, if medical marijuana is a possible option for you, it really depends on your doctor. Some doctors are not for it. Dr. Shemileski believes in it, and we'll speak with him coming up in just a second. Stand by. Quick break. We'll come right back. It's Wednesday morning, 6:36 to WIBX.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica, Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery, Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
Some clouds out there, 34 degrees. WIBX news time is 6:37. President Biden calling for a ban on assault weapons. During last night's State of the Union address, Biden said he's been trying to ban assault weapons for almost 30 years. The president noted mass shootings went down in the 10 years that those guns were banned, and when Republicans allowed the law to expire, he says those shootings tripled. The death toll from Monday's devastating earthquake in Turkey is closing in on 10,000 now. As of this morning, there were over 9,500 confirmed dead in Turkey and Syria. Search and rescue crews say time is running out to find more survivors under the rubble of still thousands of collapsed buildings. A Memphis police officer under fire after he texted photos of Tyree Nichols after he was beaten by police. Video footage of Nichols being arrested last month showed an officer taking pictures on his cell phone. On Tuesday, the state police released Memphis police documents that show Officer Demetrius Haley admitted to sending a photograph of Nichols to at least 5 other people. 2 Customs and Border Protection agents are sharing their experience with Congress. In testimony Tuesday, Agent Gloria Chavez of Texas said the border is being exploited daily by cartels for human smuggling and other illegal activities. Agent John Molden of Arizona said cartels overwhelm agents with migrants purposely to leave other areas of the border vulnerable. LeBron James passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Abdul-Jabbar was present, and when James scored his 38,000th career point, He held the scoring record for nearly 40 years. LeBron James overtook Abdul-Jabbar for the top spot during last night's game between the Lakers and Oklahoma City Thunder. And Americans are expected to spend billions of dollars on Valentine's Day. The National Retail Federation expects consumers to shell out nearly $26 billion this year. That can't be for just one girl, right?
Right.
That works out to an average of about $193 per person for flowers, cards, candy, and other gifts for friends, loved ones, and even coworkers. WIBX News Time 640, your Weather Center forecast from the National Weather Service has a slight chance of drizzle still this morning. Cloudy this afternoon, a high of 37 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 27. Thursday, rain mainly after 9 a.m., a high near 41. Friday, cloudy with a high near 40. And again, going back and forth talking about it this morning, the National Weather Service has the high temperatures on Thursday and Friday about 10 degrees lower than I think the phone app for most of our listeners. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but we'll find out who's right, though, won't we?
We will.
Only time will tell. All right, coming up, Dr. Shemaleski from the Falcon Clinic on medical marijuana. We'll get into it coming right up. 640 at WIBX.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Do you have unused or expired medicine in your home? Any medication can be harmful if misused or accidentally taken by a child or pet. Let us help you safely dispose all your unused medicines with easy-to-use medication deactivation bags that can be thrown away in your home trash. While supplies last, get 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home.
Hurry and don't delay. Order yours now at ocopioidtaskforce.org. That's ocopioidtaskforce.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And it is a Wednesday morning. We have much to get into today, and I want to tackle the issue of medical marijuana here this morning. Dr. Shemaleski from the Falcon Clinic in studio right now. Good morning, along with Dr. Zielinski. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let us start out that microphone. Oh, boy. You got it all set up? I think you're pretty good. I think you're good.
I think so.
Test it. 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. All right, very nice. Okay, let's start with the Falcon Clinic and talk about what you guys are doing over there.
Well, I've talked about that quite a bit in the past there, and my sidekick here, Dr. Zielinski, he's been with us for quite a while now, seeing patients, if you would take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do we do?
So I've been with the Falcon Clinic for about 3 months, and I've enjoyed my time there tremendously. And so we offer a very wide variety of services there. First and foremost, we are a primary care clinic, and we are taking new patients for anyone who's interested. So we do, kind of the typical primary care stuff that you would expect us to do as far as annual physicals, managing chronic conditions like, high blood pressure, diabetes. We offer, people opportunities to get, up to date on their immunizations if they so desire, and so on and so forth. We also offer osteopathic manipulation. Dr. Shimoleski and I are both DOs, doctors of osteopathic medicine. So in addition to the primary care stuff that I was talking about, we also do some musculoskeletal manipulation for folks who have chronic, acute, or acute on chronic pain, neck pain, back pain, headaches, shoulder pain, so on and so forth.
Seems to be a big problem with people today, right? Everybody seems to have some sort of an ache or a pain.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other things that we have in our repertoire to treat that, in addition to medications when appropriate, osteopathic manipulation like I just talked about, we're also very proud to say that we're one of the few doctors in the area that offer our patients medical marijuana.
Dr. Shimoleski, let's talk about that. Some doctors do not necessarily appreciate the effects of medical marijuana.
Yeah. Well, what we're working on a lot of fronts is a lot of prejudice. A lot of prejudice for all kinds of treatments on there. I mean, we could go into the whole business of COVID and the fiasco with that. But the business of marijuana, the various drugs, has a long history. If you got an hour and a half or two, we'll go into that. But it's interesting that there is this prejudice. If you think about just marijuana, forget about medical marijuana, but just marijuana in its different forms, it's been around for thousands of years and used very successfully by different groups there, whether it's European or Arabic, African, whatever, And it wasn't really until there was, in about, I think it was 1937, marijuana in the United States was outlawed.
Right.
So we've only been having this thing for about 70 years. What's that, 3 generations?
So the debate over legality of marijuana, whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Right. And, of course, those are qualifiers, good and bad or value judgments. But I guess the question is things like water. Is water good or bad? Well, if you're drowning, I won't think it's good.
Right. Yeah.
So aside from good or bad, the question is, well, what does it do? Why would you use that? Why would we even consider prescribing medical marijuana now? Why would he even consider doing that in a medical practice?
So why?
Well, you want to take that?
You want me to take that one? So it's important, kind of like Dr. Shimoleski started doing there, kind of peeling back the layers of the onion, so to speak, to delineate what makes medical marijuana different from street marijuana. So street marijuana, I'll back up even further. There are 2 predominant chemicals in marijuana. There's THC, which is a psychoactive chemical. That's the chemical that gets people high, so to speak. And there's CBD, which has very, very potent medicinal properties about it. Now, street marijuana is very high in the THC, again, the compound that gets people high, very low in the CBD. Medical marijuana is grown or engineered in such a way that the THC, the compound that gets people high content in it, is actually quite low. People who are taking marijuana for medicinal purposes shouldn't get high at all. But it's very high in the CBD component, which is the one that has very potent anti-pain properties, antidepressive, anti-anxiety, anti-insomnia. So there are many different uses for medical marijuana, not just physical complaints like neck pain, shoulder pain, like we were talking about before, but also depression, anxiety, insomnia, and so on and so forth.
And now when you compare it to many of the other drugs that are out there to deal with these issues like opioids, you look at it differently, right?
I would say, and I think Dr. Shimoleski would agree with me, that the safety profile of medical marijuana is considerably more favorable than that of opioids. Absolutely.
Yeah, 30 years in ER as a board-certified ER physician, and that was my life before the Falcon Clinic. And it was incredible to see the ravages of people using alcohol. And there really is almost no comparison. Now, whether you're using medical marijuana or street marijuana or whatever, I don't think you should be driving a car, flying an airplane, or taking out my appendix. Having said that,
well, the same thing would be true for any strong medication that you take.
Even an antihistamine, if you take it for a cold and you're groggy. So.
And then let me jump in with a question, because this is one that I had for you here, right down this vein. When you get a medical marijuana prescription, I don't know, does somebody go to a pharmacy to pick it up? And I'm just wondering, however they get their hands on it, does the bottle or the bag in this case maybe say, do not drive for 2 hours after you've consumed this product or something like that?
It's funny you say that, because you just recently looked at a bunch of packages on there, and I didn't see the thing about don't drive. They're talking about the amount of the THC, CBD, whether it's an equal ratio and stuff like that.
There should be one on there, right?
Well, I guess shoulda, coulda, woulda. I guess in Europe they have these things about lung cancer on cigarette packs and stuff like that. So I think your point is well taken. But getting back to the ERs, I saw and occasionally fought with people who were under the influence of alcohol, and the people with their car accidents. Horrible things.
Right.
I can't tell you if I ever had somebody who was on, let's say, at that time, street marijuana, who was in any way belligerent, things like that. They might have come in maybe smiling, laughing, or a little sedated or something, but not like with alcohol. So I think there are two different things there. One of the things, Brian alluded to was, that the street marijuana that you get, and I think that's where the prejudice is, well, because we also treat chemical dependency and hepatitis C, in the office and other things, we do urine testing, and you'll have people who will come in and they will have even some of the narcotics or fentanyl, along with the THC, the component of the marijuana. And you'll say, gee, did you use some of this stuff? And they said, no, I was, I got some marijuana from a friend. Well, these things, some of the time are being laced, and to get some kind of a buzz. It's a commercial thing. Illegal drugs is a business.
Right.
It's a business with a business model if you can get people coming back. But therein lies the danger as well,
So your belief, though, would be that prescribed by a doctor and getting the medical marijuana legally, there's a benefit to that?
No question about it. And the first thing, again, that Dr. Zielinski alluded to is that you have a quality control on how these plants are grown, extracted, and so forth. So people who rightfully do not want to be involved with, street drugs, okay? And I'm not talking just like, a 60, 70-year-old person. I'm talking about, 20-year-old. They know about fentanyl.
Sure.
They don't want to have laced stuff. They want stuff with quality on there.
Well, I would say purity, right, would be extremely important. Buying it off the street, depending on where you're buying it, you have no idea where it's coming from.
Yeah.
What conditions might medical marijuana be useful for?
So I think we touched on that a little bit earlier.
By the way, this is Dr. Zielinski, along with Dr. Shimoleski, Falcon Clinic, located in Washington Mills.
Thank you. So kind of like we touched on a little bit before, there's definitely a wide variety of uses, not just physically, but also psychologically. So we often see people using it for chronic pain of various sorts, neck pain, low back pain, shoulder pain, etc. And then there are also a wide variety of mental health conditions that it can be used for too. So depression, anxiety, insomnia. I think all of the patients that have come to us at least in the relatively brief time that I've been with the clinic, that have been using it for all these various reasons, have really done quite well with really minimal side effects.
And can you replace certain? So you would utilize medical marijuana and not have to take blank. Talk about that.
So, in fact, we have patients come to us either for their primary care or as a consultant for different things. And I don't mean to disparage, or talk about other practitioners. They have their burden, to help people.
Right.
What I'm saying is that there are people who have been on different narcotics, for example, for years and years. And one of the reasons that the medical marijuana was legalized was to give another avenue for people with chronic pain. And we've been able to help patients wean off narcotics. And then we would use things like supplements, we would use osteopathic manipulative treatments. And the medical marijuana is a game changer. It really increases the threshold of pain, meaning that the people don't feel as much discomfort there.
Okay.
I got a question from a listener here coming up about some recommendations and their experience. Let me ask you first, what's the threshold where you go from trying CBD for help versus a medical marijuana? The reason I ask, I actually have an example. My mother, her friend had CBD gummies, and the person said, I paid like $100 for this big sack. They're not really doing anything for me. Would you like to try them? My mother has knee and shoulder pain, and she swears by them. She takes them 2 a day, the CBD gummies, and she said it's similar to like on days when she'd have pain and take an Advil or something like that. It's the same thing. When she doesn't take it, her body, she can feel that she hasn't taken anything for it. When do you cross that threshold from a CBD?
And is it really working or versus placebo?
That's a great question.
Well, nowadays, when you talk about placebo, you have to have over 20% effect of something compared to a control group for placebo. So placebo effect, we really don't understand well, okay? Belief systems and the psychology and emotions of something play significantly in how we take any kind of prescription medication, whether it's going to work and so on. So those are perceptions there. As far as a threshold, everybody reacts differently to all these different things. The THC, as Dr. Zielinski alluded to, is more of a psychoactive type medication. It'll either give you a little bit of energy. On the street, they call it a buzz or a high. Might make you giddy, things like that, creative. And then there's the other form, which is more sedating. That's why you have the sativa and indica.
Makes people not want to get up to change the channel on the TV.
Well, and it's funny. There's say it again. Sativa and the indica.
Indica, yeah.
What is it? The sativa makes you have energy, and the indica
kind of
mellows you
out a little bit. And the CBD is less psychoactive, as Dr. Zielinski said. And the thing is, there are hundreds of compounds there and isomers of this CBD, and we really don't completely understand that. There may be and we don't treat cancer directly, there may be very important cancer treatments. Just watched recently a program, Weed the People, and very interesting about cancer in children.
Right.
These were children. Seizure disorders, all kinds
that's been a
of
big
things.
thing, the seizure issue. That's played a big role in actually moving the legislature to legalize marijuana for medical use. What about all the CBD products that are out there? Some say it's just commercial garbage. That versus the prescribed stuff. I know someone that uses it for hip pain. It's an oil that they rub on, and they claim they get about 2 hours or so of relief from the pain when they utilize that CBD oil.
Right. Well, I would ask, what don't you get? Okay?
Right.
You don't get irritated. You don't burn a hole in your stomach like you get with some of these ibuprofen products or the commercial arthritis medications. You don't have bone thinning, loss of your control of your blood sugar and cataracts like you do with things like cortisone and stuff like that.
And liver damage if you take Tylenol excessively.
Yeah.
Jeff in Utica, I have a medical marijuana card. I never did pot growing up because I waited until it was medically legal. With my medical issues, I qualified, got my card, used THC cereal bar once as a sleep aid. He says it didn't help. I need something stronger. Can you guys recommend anything?
I've got 30 seconds. We'll do news and then come back to the other side. But go ahead.
Well, there are a number of
In
different
30
things.
seconds.
When people have problems sleeping, I talk about sleep architecture on there. So there are a number of different things we can get into in a second if you like. Of course, marijuana, medical marijuana is one of those things. We try to stay away from sleep meds, sleeping pills, but there are a number of things. We can get into that.
And a lot of that stuff has so many side effects. It almost seems like today you take one pill and then you get side effects, and you're given another pill to get rid of those side effects.
That's a slippery slope that we try not to go down whenever possible.
All right. So stand by. We'll talk more about this. And if you have questions on medical marijuana, the Falcon Clinic in the studio here. On the other side, WIBX Utica Rome. It's 7 o'clock.
He called for unity. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We have to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. We're good people.
President Biden got cheered for that as he called the state of our union strong, but he also got booed.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's the majority.
Some even yelled liar, as the president also touted inflation going down and unemployment at a 54-year low.
The president says the job is not finished as he laid out new proposals on prescription drug prices, immigration reform, an assault weapons ban, and corporate tax increases. The president travels to Wisconsin today as part of an effort to grow support for his economic agenda.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the new governor of Arkansas, gave the Republican response calling the president unfit for office.
Woman to lead my state, and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is.
Now back to the president. He also led a standing ovation for Ukraine's ambassador to the United Nations.
We're going to stand with you as long as it takes.
That's the ambassador to the U.S. getting a standing ovation. The current president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, visiting Britain for the first time today. The number of deaths in earthquake-devastated Turkey and Syria now tops 11,000 as searchers keep going through the rubble.
There aren't enough moments like these, and there aren't enough people to make them happen.
Easy, easy, easy. Oh, very good. Come on.
Israeli rescuers pulled 2 survivors from the ruins of a home in Turkey. Turkey now has 60,000 aid personnel in the earthquake zone, but many people are still waiting for help.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Mostly cloudy skies, 36 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's President's Day Sale. Keep more presidents in your pocket. Shop the My Carl's President's Day Sale. Historic deals on all in-stock furniture. All in stock with easy, no credit needed financing. Only at My Carl's Furniture, New Hartford Shopping Center, and now open in Destiny, USA. New York State Police say an operation targeting adults attempting to exploit children online has resulted in the arrest of 10 men, including 3 active military soldiers in Jefferson County. State police officials believe there are more victims who were targeted online and are encouraging possible victims to come forward. The investigation began in September of last year. 6 civilians from Jefferson County were arrested, along with another man from Kentucky, on a charge of attempted rape in the 2nd degree. And the cases involving the active duty soldiers will be handled by the Army's Criminal Investigation Division and the Judge Advocate General Corps. You can find photos of the suspects on our website and more information at WIBX950.com. The New York State DMV says the inspection stickers placed on the windshield of your car vehicle will be getting a new look. The print-on-demand stickers will be printed at inspection stations and include vehicle-specific information on them in order to enhance security. The color of the sticker itself will continue to change depending on the expiration. The current stickers are in the process of being phased out. Advocates lobbying New York lawmakers to lower the state's legal blood alcohol content limit for driving while intoxicated. Mothers Against Drunk Driving President Tess Rowland says it's been years since New York lowered the limit from 0.10% to 0.08%, a move that she believes has saved many lives. Proposed legislation would lower the legal BAC to 0.05%. Similar measures have been introduced over the past several years, but have not passed the state legislature. A former member of the Watervliet Fire Department has been sentenced for sexually abusing an Uber driver. A judge ordering Edward Rolfe to spend 30 days in jail for the crime he committed back in 2019. Last year, a jury convicted him on charges including harassment and forcible touching. In addition to jail time, he'll also be on probation for the next 6 years. And the daughter of Buffalo Bills co-owner Kim Pegula providing an update on her mother's current condition. Jessica Pegula says that Kim suffered a cardiac arrest at the family's home in Florida in June and that CPR likely saved her life. She went on to say that her mother is continuing to recover but struggles to communicate and has memory issues. Kim Pegula and husband Terry are the co-owners also of the Buffalo Sabres. WIBX News Time is 7:06. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a slight chance of rain this morning, cloudy for this afternoon, a high reaching 37 degrees. Mostly cloudy overnight tonight, a low falling back into the upper 20s. Thursday, we start the day with some rain showers, a high reaching 41. Friday, cloudy and a high of 40. Bill, looking ahead to Saturday, partly sunny skies and a high of 33. And I'll just mention this again. We'll keep an eye on it for you as well. National Weather Service forecast has the high Thursday and Friday at right around 40. The Apple Weather app has it right around 50. So there's a full 10-degree difference.
I think you'll find that there's probably a lag in one of them. My guess would be it's your Apple Weather app. And by, let's say, 8 o'clock, I'll bet they catch up.
It's interesting. We can make that bet. And I'll tell you, yesterday it confused me as well because we were reporting 41 and they were saying 48. So there has been a consistent spacing in the high temperatures for the end of the week.
You do know that Apple, so the Weather Channel app uses the National Weather Service. Apple uses as the crow flies and the Farmer's Almanac as their source for weather information. So there you go.
Right now, 36 degrees. It's a warm start for 7:07 on WIBX.
I should say from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, it happened last night. LeBron James becomes the NBA's leading all-time scorer. Here we go.
Looking for James. He's got it. LeBron James, a shot at history. LeBron stands alone. The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James.
That's a big deal, right? Big deal in sports history. The Knicks have now won 3 of their last 4 games after coming back to beat the Magic 102-98 in Orlando last night. The Nets have now dropped 3 of their last 4 games after falling 116-112 to Phoenix in Brooklyn. And this kind of interesting. Giants fans hoping that their top offensive playmaker returns to the Meadowlands. According to Pro Football Network, the belief is that New York will retain running back Saquon Barkley by re-signing him before free agency opens up. I'm going to ask you your thoughts on that.
I like Saquon. I don't like Danny Jones.
And
not for $37 million.
And Michael Strahan is commenting on the rumored relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. You take issue with that?
Yeah, I do. The question was about, I believe, what do you see for Aaron Rodgers? Could he play in New York? How would he go over in New York? And he said there's one team he thinks that's close that might be a good fit for him. I think and hope he was talking about the Giants, but that story indicates he was talking about the Jets. He was a lifelong Giant. I don't understand.
You remember, he is now he's a television star.
He is, but he definitely talks a lot about the Giants, and he was.
Does.
To his discredit, he was very pro Danny Jones during the season. But again, he's not going to go out there and kill the guy on national television. He'll say positive things, but.
We'll tell you, Syracuse tonight plays Florida State, 7 p.m. They're at Florida State. Game time is at 7. And, Davey, that has moved from ESPN2 to ESPNU. While the game will not be in prime time, they have moved Boeheim's post-game press conference to prime time. Everybody wants to watch this one, right? And I would not be surprised if ESPN covers.
Is that a serious statement, though? Is that a serious statement?
You're almost there. I would not be surprised if ESPN actually covers his press conference.
Yeah.
Because you wonder what he's going to say. The most I think that he said was on his radio show in Syracuse, where he basically said, I might have misspoken a little bit when talking with ESPN. Yeah. Have you ever been in that position where you're angry at someone and you give them an answer that you know is going to, tweak them?
Yeah.
I mean, you give them that answer as opposed to stabbing them, right? Because I feel like Boeheim, instead of standing up and walking over and punching the reporter in the face, he gives an answer that'll really pee them off.
Well, he has his national radio show tomorrow night, but goes all around the whole U.S. It'll be interesting to see if he talks.
That's his show? I don't know that show.
It's the Jim Boeheim show that they have every week.
Oh, his
it's an obligation. It's not like it's his personal podcast where he
is that the one that's
obligated
on,
for
TK99?
Right.
That show.
Right.
I think that aired Monday.
Oh, did it?
That aired already.
It airs on Thursday.
And Gomez does it.
Yeah,
that already aired, and they this is where Boeheim said I might have I think I misspoke.
Yeah,
it's the university that makes the decision whether or not I stay here.
Yeah, it's the worst kept secret.
In fact, he said the college today, the university today could say I'm done. And I would be done right now. I mean, not,
Of course.
Right.
Of course. Ultimately, they could fire him at any time, but why would they do that?
But I do believe that the college has said to him, listen, you've given your life to this university. When you want to go, you go. This is your choice. And that's kind of what he portrayed in the interview with ESPN because he was angry.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Again, this is the example I'll give. If he walked into the office, either the AD or the president and said, look, I think, and the 5 years, I know everyone's calling for his head every year. It's like, is Boeheim going to coach another year? If he said, I want to coach 5 more years here, they would probably say, okay, coach, we understand.
Yeah.
Not, we're going to reassess after next season. We'll let you know.
It's like, you're right. That's a good point. It's like Dr. Shemaleski, who started the Falcon Clinic, right? Legendary for the Falcon Clinic. Now Dr. Zelensky is in. And in 5 years, all of a sudden, Dr. Zelensky says that I'm taking over. And you interview Dr. Shemaleski, and he gives you a smart aleck answer.
I started this thing.
That's
Are you
right.
kidding me?
I mean, it's all the same. Pretty poor transition, but I'm trying to make my way to the leap that we'll be speaking with the two doctors from the Falcon Clinic next. On the other side of the break, we're talking about medical marijuana. Is it right for you? Is it an option? And what are the risks? It's so amazing that you hear people say, talk about the risks and the dangers and the gateway of marijuana at a time that they're probably taking drugs that are far more, that are far stronger and possibly dangerous if used improperly. That's kind of what they're getting into a little here, and we'll talk about it coming up on the other side of the break. Stand by. By the way, the Comets, I did not mention, they host Hershey on Friday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. The Pioneers, away for the next 2 weekends, that'll round out their regular season. Right now, ranked number 1 in the country.
They're going to play the important games at home from here on out.
Let's hope. 7:13 at WIBX.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties. FoundationHOC.org. We're your community foundation, working to build a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
At AmeriQ, we know that today, more than ever, real connections matter. And there's no better place to create meaningful connections than in your own home. Build a solid foundation with a construction loan from AmeriQ. Just like your home, our rates and terms are custom built for you, your project, and your budget. Connect with us at ameriq.org/build. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
The IBEW Local 43 and the National Electrical Contractors Association have been a part of Central New York for over 100 years. The IBEW state-of-the-art training facility offers classroom instruction as well as everyday on-the-job construction training. From the Carrier Dome to our local hospitals, malls, schools, and city buildings, Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 will continue to help light, power, and grow our community.
IBEW Nika.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, in studio right now is Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Chmielewski from the Falcon Clinic, and we're talking about medical marijuana. You have any questions on this? 315-736-0186 is our phone number, and it does seem to be for medicinal purposes, something that is being prescribed more and more. But you will find doctors who will not prescribe it, who are against it. I find that interesting when they're willing to then prescribe opioids. You do kind of wonder. I have Kathy on the line right now with a question. Good morning, Kathy. You're on the radio. Dr. Zielinski and Dr. Chmielewski.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody. I have glaucoma, and I was just wondering, I take 3 particular eye drops to keep the eye pressure down. I was wondering, by any chance, would the marijuana be something that might help to a point?
Yeah, years ago there was a program started through Upstate Medical Center of actually dispensing marijuana cigarettes to lower intraocular pressure, which is what glaucoma is, the pressure in your eyeball. And they got very good results with that. And so that is one of those things, along with an ophthalmologist and periodic assessment of your eyes, is used. Yeah.
So that's something. So the medical marijuana could be used for that?
I don't have the expertise on that. I don't prescribe it for that, so I would have to defer to an ophthalmologist.
Okay. All right, Kathy.
Thank you for the question, though.
Okay, Kathy, thank you.
Follow up to that, do you know if it, when it is prescribed or if it is prescribed, is there like THC eye drops that somebody could use, or would their method maybe be they would smoke a joint or a gummy?
The research I know had been, to ingest it on there, and I don't really know about THC drops in the eyes.
You do bring up a good point, though, that there are multiple modes of delivery of the drug. There is, I think the one that we use the most commonly is the oral preparation, either a pill or an oral liquid, but there are also inhaled forms of it. And I, too, am also not aware of eye drops, but you do touch on a good point that there are multiple modes of delivery of the drug.
Maybe I was thinking, because I've seen bottles before, but I think those were the CBD bottles. They would come with a dropper, and they'd tell you, put it under your tongue.
You can buy, the thing is about the CBD or any of these other, the oils, if you will, you can buy them everywhere. And they're like... gift shops that sell this stuff.
Yeah.
Is it just become kind of an over commercialized product that doesn't help? What are your thoughts on some of that sort of thing?
So, and actually, there was a gentleman who asked a question before we went on break. If I could circle back to that very briefly, and then I'll tie it into what you just said.
Yeah.
So thank you for your question, and I would actually encourage you, if you could call the office and set up a consult so we could get more information and see if we're able to help you further. A lot of times, as we know, you can buy Tylenol, you can buy ibuprofen over the counter, but sometimes you need to go see a doctor and actually have them gather the information that we gather and see if there's a product that we can prescribe to you to help you further. Because, yes, there are a lot of CBD products available over the counter and online and stuff like that. But sometimes if we get the right information, we can tailor the dose, we can tailor the method of delivery more to your, unique individual needs to get you the relief that you want or need. So I think that, in answer to your question, yes, there is some, kind of over-commercialization going on. And just like you can buy over-the-counter ibuprofen or Tylenol or Prilosec or what have you, sometimes you really do need to talk to a doctor and get their expertise and see if there's a specific product, a specific method of delivery that you need for your unique condition.
So I know with someone who's dealing with pain in the hip, and they use a CBD oil that they claim the pain goes away for 2 hours.
Yeah. But, talking about, THC and the CBDs there, one of the resistance there to the THC, the psychoactive component, is because it's still federally a Schedule I drug, along with things like psilocybin, mescaline, and LSD, whereas the CBD doesn't really have that kind of a thing. So you're talking about something that can affect your mind as opposed to something that I don't want to use the word inert. It doesn't work. It does from the example you said.
Yeah.
But it's an extract of some other things there, like stalk and stuff like that. And so that's why people are able to legally get CBD and put that into gummies and other products there, And it's kind of interesting that part of the federal government wants to legalize this stuff, and then part of the federal government doesn't want to. The FDA is against it.
You would think after the opioid crisis that we've been through and the destruction,
justification there to get people, off the opiates, which I think, that's a whole other topic. But there are people who definitely need opiates. But I think it's a dwindling or small number of people, and I think the medical marijuana, either THC or CBD or combinations of those things, is a wonderful, alternate source to help people, either alone or with some of the things that we do.
Jeff says, I have my medical marijuana card. I never did pot growing up. Did you do that one?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just tried it as this is his add-on to that. I just tried it as a sleep aid pain relief. Your phone doesn't have enough memory for all the medical issues I deal with. What about for sleep?
Yeah. Again, sleep is a complicated thing. Whether you can get to sleep or stay asleep, or wake up early, and so there are different aspects of that. But the nice thing about the medical marijuana is that these endocannabinoids in our system and receptors and stuff there, the THC and even CBD react with those things and allow for a more natural sleep.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of patients who use it for that. And get by very well with no grogginess the next morning and so forth, See, we learn a lot of things from the public. You talk about doctors being hesitant on doing certain things. The medical profession is very, very conservative. It takes, when you get a new thing come out, unless it's earth-shattering, about 10 years to get into the front lines in medicine. Right. But we listen.
And before that, it takes 10 years in order for it to be approved by the FDA, it seems.
Yeah. And billions of dollars.
Right.
But so that's why it's important. We listen to patients. We learn from patients. That's why we call it a practice.
Right.
We're never getting it right. And a lot of these things, we learn from the patients their responses there. And that convinced me and convinced us that this is a game changer for a lot of people, that people are missing out, again, because of the prejudice.
Right.
So...
Yeah. Dr. Zielinski, I should say. Dr. Shemaleski, I combined you two. Try that anywhere else in the world. That's probably the only time that's ever happened.
There were Siamese twins. Joined at the hip.
Yes, instead of you taking over the practice, you'll be merged together. We've done that too.
Two docs become one.
If somebody has an interest, and again, one of the biggest things in the world people deal with is these days seems to be pain. Yeah. If you have an interest, if you have a concern, how do they reach out?
Is it okay if I take that one? Like I mentioned earlier, we are taking new patients for all of the services that we offer. So primary care, osteopathic manipulation, medical marijuana, hepatitis C, subblockade, acupuncture. So if anybody's interested, we can be reached by telephone at 315-507-4751. And we are located at 1 Oxford Crossing, Suite 1 in New Hartford, right next to Washington Mills in the Hannaford Plaza.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you
very much.
And thanks for staying over this morning. It's certainly appreciated.
Our pleasure.
Got a break. Coming up, we have an opportunity for you to get Jimmy Fallon tickets. So 5 shows sold out. He'll be here a week from this Friday. 5 shows sold out. How could you get tickets? We'll give you details on that coming up in a second. Stand by. It's 7:26 at WIBX.
Spring is on the way, and if you're looking to make the most of it in a new RV, camper, boat, or trailer, then look to Mohawk Valley FCU. Right now, you can get up to 120-month financing for as low as 5.74% APR for any new recreation vehicle. That's 120 months of financing for as low as 5.74% APR. Go to MohawkValleyFCU.org for more info and to apply today. Mohawk Valley FCU, member-focused, member-driven.
Milk, eggs, $42. Ma'am, you okay?
Need bucks? With Jackson Hewitt, don't wait weeks for the IRS to send your tax refund. Come in now for up to $3,500 with a no-interest, no-fee refund advance loan when you file your taxes. That's up to $3,500 today. Don't let high prices get you down. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes. So get to Jackson Hewitt today. For eligible clients, loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
For our troops and their families, the military is more than a career. It's a journey. And every step along the way, the USO is there.
It's an experience that soldier will never forget for the rest of his life. That's what the USO does.
From the time they join to the time they transition out of the military, the USO is there, offering programs and support along the way.
USO has
tons of programs, how to do a job interview, what to wear, what not to wear, knowing that there was going to be a life after the military.
For over 70 years, the USO has continued to meet the needs of our troops and their families, standing with them when it counts.
We all got to watch pretty much his last goodbye right before we were notified he was gone. Without the USO, it wouldn't be possible for me and my children to watch Jared tell us that he loves us. These are memories that we'll have forever.
Be a part of their journey. Learn more today at USO.org.
Cloudy skies, 36 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:30. Still, the death toll from Monday's devastating earthquake in Turkey continues to rise and is now over 11,000. Bitter cold weather and a shortage of trucks and fuel are slowing efforts to get international aid and rescue workers to quake-stricken areas of southern Turkey and northern Syria. Aid groups say time is running out to find more survivors under the rubble of collapsed buildings. President Biden will be on the road today pitching his economic achievements and plans for the next 2 years, as he did last night during his State of the Union address. Biden travels to Madison, Wisconsin today to make the case that his economic plan is creating millions of jobs. LeBron James breaks the NBA's all-time scoring record, surpassing NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The 38-year-old LA Lakers superstar surpassed Abdul-Jabbar in the third quarter of last night's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. James has now scored 38,390 points in his 20 NBA seasons. Zoom is set to lay off over 1,300 employees. Its CEO saying in a blog post the company needed to adapt to the uncertainty of the global economy. Zoom saw a huge boom during the pandemic when millions of Americans did their jobs from home. Researchers say over 90% of the former NFL players they studied had CTE. The Boston University CTE Center studied the brains of over 370 deceased NFL players and found of the 370, 345 had the progressive brain disease that causes memory loss, depression, and the loss of motor skills. And Michael Jackson's estate is preparing to make a massive deal for half of his music catalog. TMZ reports Jackson's estate is considering selling a 50% interest for nearly $900 million. Reports say the sale would only happen if the estate maintains total control and management over that catalog. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for still some chances of light rain showers this morning. Cloudy this afternoon, a high of 37 degrees. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 27. Thursday, we start the day with some rain showers possible, a high reaching 41. Friday, mostly cloudy and a high of 40. Our next peak at sunshine is expected on Saturday, a high of 33 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:32. We have mostly cloudy skies and 36 degrees.
Okay, Manaski, let's do our free money question of the day. A chance for you to win $100 in cash from the Hobeika Law Firm, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. Davey, what are we looking for this morning? Caller number
7.
7. Why'd you pick 7, Davey? It seems like because what?
I think Syracuse is going to win by 7.
Okay,
or
you're
more.
You're
or
thinking
more.
a big win tonight for Syracuse.
Nice.
Right.
All right. I thought for a moment he'd lost the mojo, but no, Davey has it in there.
I have no mojo today.
You don't. What's going on, man?
No mojo.
No mojo.
Are you okay, bud?
I'm okay, but no
mojo. No mojo. No mojo. No mojo.
It's like the Phil Collins song, No Mo, Mojo.
Yeah.
No Mo.
It. Yeah.
Mojo.
Right. Okay, we're looking for caller number 7 this morning. 7th calling through the lines takes a shot at our Hobeika Law Firm free money question of the day. You could win cash and other stuff. 7th caller right now at WIBX.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's February. You know what that means. Love is in the air. That's right. Valentine's Day is Tuesday, February 14th, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all your Valentine gifts. Valentine's Day is a day to express your love. This year, give a beautiful gift of distinction that will be enjoyed for years to come. Let's think out of the box. For your little Valentine, we have a fun toy department with Nido, Coco Melon, Bluey, and Minecraft toys. Maybe your Valentine loves gardening. The Old Wicker Mill has a huge garden department. There's Beekman Bath & Body, Lolita wine glasses, touch lamps, Nora Fleming, Dr. Squatch soap, a large women's clothing department. We're your Vera Bradley headquarters, and of course we have traditional Valentine's gifts, cards, candy, and all the top jewelry brands like Pandora, Brighton, Swarovski, Ella Stein, Uno de 50, E. Newton, and so much more. So this Valentine's Day, express your love to all your Valentines with something special from the Old Wicker Mill, located in the New Hartford Shopping Center, where everything we have is fun, functional, and affordable.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley will soon be home to New York State's newest state-of-the-art medical center, the Wynn Hospital. But healthcare transformation is already underway. At MVHS, we're bringing talented, highly skilled healthcare professionals from around the country to our region. In the past year, MVHS has hired more than 60 new doctors and mid-level providers, and recruiting continues throughout the Northeast for nurses, physical therapists, radiology techs, lab positions, and more. Plus, the MVHS Medical Education Division is already bringing more physicians in training and medical students to our area through new residency programs and medical school partnerships. Today, we have 45 residents and 35 medical students doing their training at MVHS. By 2027, there will be more than 200 physician learners at the Wynn Hospital and other MVHS campuses. Our focus is on caring for our community with the best and brightest teams of caregivers, now and in the future. Mohawk Valley Health System. This is for you.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's New York attorneys. 518-554-0000. Online at CordellCordell.com. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Completely lost, Tim. I'm completely lost in the weeds. And that is fitting.
Not the weeds. It's not the CBD. He's gone to the weeds.
Fitting considering the conversation we just had, right? All right, here we go. We're going to do our free money question of the day this morning, giving somebody a chance to win $100 in cash from the Hobica Law Firm. And Mr. Snuffleupagus, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Davey, when you lose your mojo, you sound like Mr. Snuffleupagus. Do you know who that is?
Seventh
yes,
caller.
I do. It was Big Bird's friend on Sesame
That's
Street.
right. So when I asked Mr. Snuffleupagus, what caller number do you want? I'll take caller number 7.
Or I can sound like Eeyore from Pool.
Oh, that's true too. Just don't go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is that ER? Yeah. From Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin. That's the. Sorry. Who is on the line? Because my screen is empty.
Debbie.
Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
He does sound a little like. Do you remember Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Oh, I do. The big brown hairy guy.
The big brown hairy guy. Could describe so many people in upstate New York. But,
it's funny because Smitty's the opposite. He's a white, bald guy.
That's right. Very white, very bald. Okay, Debbie, where are you calling from, by the way?
Rome.
In Rome. All right, are you ready for this?
I feel like we're going to give away $100 right now.
I do.
Oh, please.
I do. Although, are you a big sports fan?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Not really.
Well, you never
I
know.
knew it was going to be sport.
You might pull this off because the name is legendary. So here we go. LeBron James has now scored 38,390 points to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's NBA record. Who did Jabbar pass? Ready, go. That's a tough one. It's a.
Oh my God.
Just throw out a name you know.
Chamberlain.
Is that it?
It is it, but it's after the buzzer.
Oh, I was at the buzzer.
What do you want to do? What is Davey? I see Davey in there. You're saying it's not Chamberlain?
No, it is Chamberlain.
It is Will Chamberlain, yeah. Hobaika. It did come after the buzzer. Even his answer came after the buzzer, I think. I could hear him in the background giving you Chamberlain. But we will give you a bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch. You tell me which Comets game you want to go to. I'll give you Comets tickets. We have the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun Card, $25. Good at Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at the Nexus Center or Adirondack Bank Center. And is there anything else? Is that everything? Yeah, that's. And I'll give you a table for 6 at this weekend's Valentine's weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club, and it keeps going, Debbie. We're going to give you our brand new mug, which is really cool, and it comes from the fine people at Max's Print Shop on River Road in Marcy.
They did a really nice job with this. It looks sharp.
Who's in the background helping you out there, though?
It was my husband.
You tell him he was just a little short, just a little quicker, and you'd have had it. And
that says something.
I was trying to think of who the person was that does the commercial for the COVID shot.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And what was his nickname? His nickname was Will the Stilt.
The Stilt.
Yeah.
That's what they used to call me in school.
I thought it was funny that you said, "Tell your husband he's a little short."
A little short. All right, stand by. Davey, who's lacking mojo this morning, will hook you up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Debbie. Thank you. Let's see. I got lines ringing off the hook.
That close.
See who they are, because I know we're waiting on Jeff Stone as well. Tim Reed is in studio right now. Representing this morning with you, Tim. I never know who you're representing. You are a busy man.
Well, we try.
Yes, we try. This morning, you're representing Real Men Get Tested.
Yes, we are.
Let's talk about that for a second. I think the last year, since COVID, what has become secondary is getting tested for cancer, and I think we're seeing the effects of it.
Exactly, and we've been kind of you've never been quiet, but we've been certainly a bit quiet in regards to cancer. Unfortunately, cancer has not been quiet in regards to dealing with the population, and I think it all kind of stems back to COVID because everyone was so concerned about that. I mean, we had situations where hospitals were closing down, no elective surgery. Although I get such a kick out of the word elective surgery. Yeah, I've elected to have like part of my colon removed. I mean, no one wants that, but and we're now starting to see some of the ramifications of the numbers are starting to increase again. So our thing
is it me, or are there more stories of people passing away, and the cause is cancer?
Yeah,
feels that way.
It does feel that way.
And I know it's just us. It's anecdotal, but it feels that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and I believe Jeff is on line number 2, Jeff Stone. Jeff is with Mohawk Valley Garden, and good morning. If there's food involved in any of the, if you're a Comets game, at a Pioneers game, at the Nexus Center, at Babes and Cookies, et cetera, the man behind all of the food is Jeff Stone. He's on the line right now. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
You sound so judgmental today.
I am today.
Yeah.
It's a long night.
Long night, being judgmental. Okay, let us talk about how this whole thing unfolded. We have a big show coming up at Fat Cats Comedy Club and here at WIBX. Jimmy Fallon will be in studio next Friday, and he'll do his national show from the studio in the afternoon, and then he has sold out a record 5 shows. There were 4. We added a 5th show, and that sold out. I can't squeeze another person into that club next Friday and Saturday. So, Tim, you purchase tickets.
Right.
And take it from here.
So I purchased tickets ahead of time, and I have 2 tickets that I cannot use. I'm going to be out of town, so I thought, here's an opportunity for something that's obviously in high demand, and if we can use that as a fundraiser for Real Men Get Tested to get ourselves back on the air again, because 100% of the money that we raise it goes straight to the community foundation, and then we can use that money for PSAs to get the word back out again.
So really, every penny goes towards the cause, which is basically spreading the word that guys, especially, and women as well, but we find that guys tend to be a little more
stubborn,
stupid, ignorant, right? All of those things. Procrastinate. Men tend to do that much more than women do. Women, from the beginning of their lives, are in tune with taking care of themselves. Guys, it's a different thing.
Well, I mean, look at this month. This is what Go Red for Women, right?
Right.
We don't have any of that sort of stuff in regards to it. We just kind of shuffle along and whatever. And if we do go, oftentimes it's at the urging or yelling at our significant other, telling us we need to get it done.
I'll never. Women are just better.
Right.
They're just better at taking care of themselves. So we send the message to men: get out there, get tested, and because that early detection is what really saves lives.
Exactly.
Think of yourself. Early detected. You're living a normal life today.
I had no symptoms whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, other than when my PSA test came back and. The doctor said, I think we better follow up a little bit more on this.
Right,
and that oftentimes those are the cases in the case of you, for example, you had symptoms but just decided to ignore them. It'll pass.
I didn't ignore them. I gave them, I excused them away. I said, well, it's got to be this, or this. It's not that.
Right.
It couldn't be that. And sure enough, when I received my colonoscopy, the bad news came. Okay, so Jeff Stone gets in the mix because he would like to actually help out.
Yep.
So we have a pair of Jimmy Fallon tickets.
Right.
And then, Jeff, you thought maybe in order to add to the cause, you could add to the pot here. What do you have? Jeff, are you there? Hello.
It was a late night. He fell asleep.
That's right. All right.
Late night.
Are you?
So
what are you adding?
We'd love to be a part of this. We'd love to add on 4 tickets to the Utica Comets anytime in March or April for the game.
Wow.
Same along with the Utica City FC soccer club there, which has been so much fun to watch this year. Both teams have been, and I'm going to do 4 tickets out to any game in March or April.
So you got four tickets to the Comets, 4 tickets to Utica City FC, and then you want to add one more item.
And then we want to add a $250 gift card, basically to the all-in-one food card. You can go to Aquafino, Keeler and Cook, Babes, 72, the Adirondack Bank Center, Nexus Center, Cookie's Q.
Wow.
And that'll be good, So that'll be $250 added on there. So we'd like, I've talked to both of you about this for a long time, and it's a great thing to make awareness and great thing for you guys to do what you've been doing. So we want to support that from the Comets.
Nice.
Soccer and the food group at the MPG.
All right, so $250 and the gift card, the Utica All-in-One, plus soccer tickets, plus 4 Comets tickets, plus a pair of Jimmy Fallon tickets.
Wow.
And go ahead.
Yeah. You can get a picture of Davey and Jimmy, too, on the weekend.
And a picture of Davey and Jimmy, and Davey and Jimmy will both autograph it. You okay with that, Davey?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, there's his mojo.
Yeah, he said he'd even smile for the picture.
Yeah. Okay. And what do we start the bidding out on this, Tim? What do you say? Oh, and there's more.
Then there's the 2 tickets for My Fair Lady that I'm throwing in. Those are worth $68 a piece. And I'll double whatever we come up with.
Whatever we raise.
Number.
Wow. That's awesome. So whatever we raise, you'll double.
Right.
We'll add you'll get all these tickets, all these plus Jimmy Fallon tickets, and all that money will go to Real Men Get Tested, which will then basically just spread the word during the month of March that it's important for guys to get out there and get tested. If you want to place a bid, where would you like to start the bidding on that?
Well, should we start at is 500 too much?
I like that.
I mean, the gift. It's $250 alone for the.
For
And then
the-
the
right,
tickets is almost
and then all
150
the
more. The
tickets.
tickets
Yeah,
are
150
400,
more.
and then 4 Comets tickets is probably, you figure, 20, 25 bucks each. That's another
Yeah,
100.
yeah.
And then
Failing,
got
you
4.
can't even get.
Fela is I cannot squeeze another person into to these shows. So
Plus 4 Utica City FC tickets on top of that. Yeah, that's a well over
it's
$500
probably about
value.
maybe $35,000 prize we get away here. I think.
Well, and the good,
pretty
the
valuable
good news to it is that one person doesn't necessarily have to bear the load, right? You just got to make sure whoever you invite, they've got to throw some.
And maybe there's somebody who
in,
wants to go to see Jimmy Fallon, and somebody that wants to go to the Comets and maybe My Fair Lady or something like that. So you can mix it up. Starting the bidding.
I think we need to add on 4 tickets to the Utica College championship divisional game when they come up. So
now
on 4 of those two. So
that is
they got to get there. But
they gotta get
it.
there. If they get there, there'll be tickets. Okay, I like that. That's confidence. All right, great stuff. You want to make a bid on it? We'll start, and I would say Valentine's Day is when we finalize the whole thing. So the final bid must come in by Valentine's Day.
Right.
Which, by the way, you should be keeping track is next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, the 3 of you collectively, your wives are very proud. You've done a great thing here, guys. Really, your wives are very proud of you.
Blind squirrel finds the nut.
This is good.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, before you go, I want you to talk about what you're about to add at the Adirondack Bank Center and elsewhere.
Yes. Is Becky there?
She's not. Can you see if she's in the... Yeah. Was she in the green room when you were in there?
Yep.
She is.
Yep.
Becky Martinuk she's come up with a product that is... Have you had this yet?
Yes. My wife demanded it.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
That's the great part about local right now, but we'll let Becky, say about it. The local part of one thing about the local part, this product, like we brought on Utica Coffee not too long ago over the yard and stuff. This product, like them, is fantastic. Not just bringing local, it's bringing a great product.
I had the product before she had released it. I tried this. I think maybe it was last Super Bowl, or
I think you had a little bit before.
I had a little bit, a little bit before. You can sit right there and turn that around. Salitas, is that how you're pronouncing this?
Salitas.
Okay, so this is a salsa, perfect for Super Bowl. And Jeff, you want to make the announcement on this salsa? By the way, made locally. It's a family recipe, is that right?
My grandmother's.
Her grandmother's recipe, and this is really cool. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know, probably 6 months back, Becky got a hold of us, and we've been talking about bringing her salsa into the Adirondack Bank Center, into the restaurants at MVG, and it's been finding a way to get this produced and get it done, and it's just a great product, and we're so happy to partner up locally with Becky and with her company and to start selling the salsa. For consumption, not just buying it by the bottle, but buying it.
So if you have any salsa at the Adirondack Bank Center or any of the restaurants, it will be Becky's salsa.
That's great.
Starting shortly. Yep. We're just finishing up. We're just making an announcement today, but we'll have the product in house shortly.
Okay.
No later than March 1st, and we're very happy to be partnering up with her.
All right, love it. And Jeff, I love your prediction on the Pioneers making it to the. Who knows? The Frozen Four might be in Utica if they keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
And
would be big.
that's going to be a March 4th date when they make it there. So.
Okay. All right. Okay, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks much.
For all of what he put
Bye,
into
Jeff.
the mix. And Becky, talk about your salsa here.
It's family recipe. It was one of those things I've made for years for friends, and people always ask for the recipe and whatnot. And when you go to a grocery store and you go to open a jar of salsa, that's not the flavor that I grew up with.
Right,
But I think
right.
of when you go to an authentic Mexican restaurant, they bring out the basket of chips. And so I got to work. I'm like, you know what? I think that we can make something that is captured in a jar that tastes just like that, that I grew up with.
And authentic. This is, I would say, a restaurant style. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
on
they
it?
call it restaurant style, but it's not chunky. It's
Right.
not watery. It clings to the chip. It's It's not oniony. It's not vinegary. All those things that you taste when you open a jar from the restaurant or from the grocery store, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
It's got its own flavor to it.
It is the best salsa.
And it's reminiscent. People say, when they go places that have, a lot of a high population of, Hispanic people. Like this is the salsa that you'll, the flavor that you get.
Is your grandmother Hispanic? Are you Hispanic?
Yeah, I am.
And that's where this whole thing comes from. Her family recipe that was passed down to you.
Yep.
Wow.
What made you go from bringing it to a party or serving it to guests and friends to putting it in a jar and selling it?
Money, Jeff. Money. That's exactly.
What was the moment that light bulb went off that hey, this is something we can do?
Totally not money, by the way. Just that.
What I meant is it's cost you money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's more like it. That I wanted there to be an option so that people could go to the store and have something good, and to know what good salsa is. Sometimes people think they don't like salsa until they have good salsa.
Yeah, it is so good, and I'm not just saying that. And Tim, you agree? You said your wife mandated her salsa. Yeah.
Is it available any place? Obviously, it'll be available at the restaurants we mentioned. But
can we talk about that first?
Yeah.
What a grab to be able to get the order. I mean, you're going to be busy making salsa.
Yeah. Right now, as we talk, it's being produced in a co-packing facility in Rochester.
Okay.
100 one-gallon jugs for the odd.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Nexus Center.
That is so cool. Congratulations on that. And that starts as soon as the product gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Jeff's question. Where is it available?
Yeah, is it available anyplace else?
So Shenatries, Utica Bread, Utica Coffee, Street Corner Market, over by Jimmy John's and Genesee Street downtown. A lot of places that are little markets. Some are closed right now. But
it is hard to get
DeSantis, Nelson Farms.
It's hard to get shelf space in a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And Shenatries does an amazing job of bringing in local products.
Oh my gosh, they're the best.
Yeah.
They really are.
Chica Salitas, medium salsa, restaurant style. I love this. Authentic, all natural, addictive. That's very good. No sugar added, no fat, and it's gluten free as well. Proudly made in the state of New York.
So, do you have? Is there you say there's a medium? Is there a hot?
We're working on it.
You're working on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Trying to standardize it so it's the same every single time, so it's doesn't vary in heat.
Here's Joe Lode to. I hope you're plugging her salsa, Joe, and not somebody else's.
Well, first time I tasted Becky's salsa at the 12 North Sports Bar, and I've been in love with it ever since. And I'm so happy that it's taken off, and she's doing so well with it because it is really great, authentic salsa.
It really is.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, Joe. Thank you, man. And
Joe Lode tested. Joe Lode approved.
Joe Lode tested. Joe Lode approved.
Plugger in chief.
And who did we promote there? Oh, it was the 12 North. Yeah. I knew there was a plug in there somewhere. So, all right, Joe. Thank you. Becky, I just think this is one of the best products. This might be the best salsa I've ever tasted. It really is that good. And I make it, and apparently I make it very wrong after tasting hers. Can't even come close to it.
You don't have to make it anymore.
Don't have to make it anymore. Again, located at Shenatries, and you said Utica Coffee.
Utica Bread, Street Corner Market, Peter's Cornucopia, Nelson Farms, DeSantis up north in Khalil's, in Syracuse at Sriracha in Baldwinsville, Swank in Hamilton. It's all over.
And I love the labeling. It looks very Mexican, authentic. It's a very inviting label. If you see that label on the grocery store shelf, you want to buy it without even knowing what it tastes like.
We wanted it originally to be something that would be in a grocery store, not a gourmet brand.
Right.
The ingredients are simple, but it packs a punch, and we wanted it to be a fun brand.
Okay.
Something that brings people together.
All right. Check
Chica
it out.
Salitas. I'm saying that right?
You got it.
Okay. And authentic, all natural, addictive. I love that.
It's really good.
That's good.
Okay. Get it for your Super Bowl party and get it at the Adirondack Bank Center. Very cool. Nice job. Thank you. And by the way, If you know Becky, you know she makes a mean salsa. And, man, can she work out the kinks in your back.
Oh, really?
Can we talk do you want to do a little, I know you don't want to mix the two, but.
No, things that you don't put together. In the
right,
same
it's
place,
not that, but I will tell you, she is an awesome massage therapist.
Thank you.
Does an incredible job out of the village of New Hartford. And how do people reach out to you if they have any interest there?
315-732-0008.
I did have to say once to her, maybe a little less, because you go deep in. It's something about moving the muscles around. You literally move those muscles back into place in somebody's back.
That's right.
Really good. Okay, Becky, nice job. Tim, thank you for what you do. Again, the bidding on the Jimmy Fallon tickets and everything else included, including Tim's match, the bidding begins at $500. These are sold-out tickets. Call Davey for details, and we'll get it hooked up. It benefits entirely. Real men get tested, which really benefits this community. Something Tim and I have worked on for quite some time here. So, all right, I got a break. Davey, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No. I see him eyeing the salsa. He'd like to taste it. That's really what he's saying. Am I correct? Big fan of salsa, Davey. And with Super Bowl weekend coming up, you got to get out there and try it. Easiest place to get it would most likely be Shenantries. So check it out. News from Fox, straight ahead.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Like all presidents, he says the state of our nation is strong. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We have to be the nation we've always been at our best. Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking.
And President Biden touted economic progress.
We have more to do. But here at home, inflation is coming down.
And he called for unity.
But the president was at times challenged by House Republicans over his assertion GOP lawmakers aim to slash Social Security and Medicare.
I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you. Look.
Republican leaders have insisted cuts to the entitlement programs are not part of spending reforms sought as part of a debt limit agreement.
Now, the Arkansas governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, gave the Republican response.
From out-of-control inflation and violent crime to the dangerous border crisis and threat from China, Biden and the Democrats have failed you.
Speaking of China,
we seek competition, not conflict.
He did not mention the Chinese spy balloon shot down Saturday, but the president said we will protect our country.
In a robust response, Beijing saying the relationship must not be wholly defined by competition, warning the U.S. it would not be responsible to try to hold China back.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The president also led a standing ovation for Ukraine's ambassador, saying we'll stand with them against Russia for as long as it takes.
We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression.
It's now up to over 11,000 people dead in earthquake-devastated Turkey and Syria. That's someone else rescued alive as crews keep sifting through the rubble. A historic shot on a basketball court in L.A.
The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James.
The call on TNT as LeBron James passed the all-time scoring leader Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was watching courtside. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Mostly cloudy skies, 36 degrees. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by the My Carl's President's Day Sale. Keep more presidents in your pocket with the My Carl's President's Day Sale. Historic deals on all in-stock furniture, all in stock with easy, no credit needed financing. Only at My Carl's Furniture in the New Hartford Shopping Center and now open in Destiny, USA. An operation targeting adults attempting to exploit children online leads to the arrest of 10 men, including 3 active military soldiers. 9 of the 10 were from the Jefferson County area. The operation conducted by New York State Police Troop D and their Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and the Department of Army Criminal Investigative Division. A total of 7 civilians were charged with attempted rape in the second degree, and 3 active duty soldiers arrested as well. Their charges include attempted sexual assault of a child. The cases involving the active duty soldiers will be handled by the Army's Criminal Investigation Division, and New York State Police say such operations in the past have led to the finding of additional victims who may have been targeted or victimized by these offenders. So they've released the photos of those suspects. You can find those now at WIBX950.com. The New York State DMV says the inspection stickers that are placed on the windshield of your vehicle will be getting a new look. The print-on-demand stickers will be printed at inspection stations and include vehicle-specific information on them, and they say that's a security enhancement. The color of the stickers itself will continue to change depending on the expiration. Current stickers are in the process of being phased out. Advocates are lobbying New York lawmakers to lower the state's blood alcohol content limit for driving while intoxicated. Mothers Against Drunk Driving President Tess Rowland says it's been years since New York lowered the threshold from 0.10% to 0.08%, a move that she believes has saved lives. Proposed legislation would lower the legal BAC to 0.05%. Similar measures have been introduced in the state legislature over the past several years, but have not garnered enough support to pass the legislature. The daughter of Buffalo Bills co-owner Kim Pegula providing an update on her mother's current condition. Jessica Pegula says that Kim suffered a cardiac arrest at the family's home in Florida in June, and that CPR likely saved her life. She went on to say that her mother continues to recover but is struggling to communicate and has memory loss issues. Kim Pegula and her husband Terry are also the co-owners of the Buffalo Sabres. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for some light rain shower chances still this morning. It'll be cloudy by this afternoon, a high reaching 37 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, an overnight low of 27. Rain in the forecast for your Thursday, a high of 41 degrees. Friday, mostly cloudy but dry, and a high of 40. Next chance at sunshine comes on Saturday, partly sunny and a high of 33. Mostly cloudy skies, 36 degrees. WIBX News Time, 8:06.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk. So LeBron James yesterday breaking an NBA record, and there was a question here. LeBron James broke the record of
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
who broke the record of
Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain.
And that is fact. We had some people questioning that, saying that somebody else came before or in between Chamberlain and Jabbar, and that is not true. Turns out the correct answer is, of our question last hour, is Wilt Chamberlain. That is correct.
20 seasons for LeBron. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe he's been in the league for 20 years.
Here's the call from last night.
Looking for James. He's got it. LeBron James, a shot at history. LeBron stands alone.
Well, there it is. As Manaski said, the number of that's 38,000, over 38,000 points in his career. Davey, you're shaking your head, saying nothing.
Yeah, it was good, but I'd rather have Kevin Harlan or Marv Albert call instead of Brian Anderson.
If Marv Albert was on the call, he would have said, yes.
That was Brian Anderson, who is the
see.
second-tier announcer on TNT.
Yes.
Saquon Barkley is re-signing with the Giants.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
All happy with that. And the Knicks come back to beat the Magic 102-98. The Nets fall to the Phoenix Suns in Brooklyn 116-112. We mentioned the Comets play Friday night at home at the Adirondack Bank Center, and they'll be hosting Hershey, and then playing on the road on Saturday. Tonight on ESPN, not 2, but U, Florida State hosts the Syracuse Orange. The post-game press conference, I think a lot of people are anticipating that.
Yes.
Boeheim has had some pretty rough interviews this week and has been in the news for those interviews. It'll be very interesting to see what he has to say in this press conference.
He's going to come out tonight and say, yeah, after the season's over, we're going to see if they're going to present me with another contract because I'm just day-to-day around here. I've been here for 43 years. I have no say when I'm allowed to come back.
You know, he has said that he expects that he will come back next season. But it was not a firm, in the radio interview he did on Monday, it was not a firm, I will be back.
Can we, I mean, again, Saquon Barkley, hopefully, I hope, re-signs with the Giants and not Danny Jones. It's like, it's up in the air. Does the team want to keep him? Does he want to stay? That's not the case with Jim Boeheim. It's not like a off-season negotiation. Is he in our plans for the future? Let's be honest. He's been there for 43 years. If he wants to stay, they're going to keep him.
And he's got a young team. I feel like next year could be a really good year with this team. I feel like this year this team could turn around and start playing well and go deep into the tournament. We just haven't seen it yet.
And if he does get fired by the university, I could see him taking over a program like Colgate and then going back to beat Syracuse in the Oh, that happens now anyway.
Yeah. How could you imagine getting rid of firing a coach? And what do you do with the floor? You'd have to take his name off the floor, wouldn't you?
I think that's going to be there forever. That's like better than the team Hall of Fame or the name on the banner, right? The name on the banner, he's got his name on the court.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. It'll be interesting tonight that post-game press conference, probably as anticipated as the game.
Can I just add one more thing?
You can.
And Colgate tries to start their winning streak up again. They host Lehigh on ESPN2. I mean, ESPN Plus.
And I got to say, they lost on Saturday to American University. Boy, that was an unexpected loss, although I think American is like third in the conference and played them pretty close the first time they played and Colgate won. It's going to be interesting to see how Colgate bounces back after this loss from this past weekend. 8:10 at WIBX.
At AmeriQ, we know that today, more than ever, real connections matter. And there's no better place to create meaningful connections than in your own home. Build a solid foundation with a construction loan from AmeriQ. Just like your home, our rates and terms are custom built for you, your project, and your budget. Connect with us at ameriq.org/build. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
Every day, more than 250 people from all walks of life die from a drug overdose. They include our families, friends, and our neighbors. Their deaths are preventable with a simple first aid tool. Naloxone, also known by the brand name Narcan, is first aid and it saves lives. It's easy to use and can be administered by anyone. Oneida County wants to get it into as many businesses and homes as possible. Sign up online and receive an overdose rescue kit with 2 doses of Narcan nasal spray for free. Go to ocgov.net and click on Save a Life to request your free kit.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
I want to tell you about our experience with Fred F. Collis and Sons. Collis. We had a furnace go out on Friday night when temperatures were plummeting, very, very cold, and below zero, of course, 17 below, I believe the temperature was. And our furnace went out. Collis was there. We did an emergency call. They came out. They got us back up and running. And we realized that after 25 years, the furnace was on its last leg. It was time to make the move. And on Monday, they installed a brand new furnace for us. And they just did an incredible job. In fact, even came yesterday because I had screwed up the thermostat when I was setting it up. Got everything set up perfectly for us. The service is what you can rely on. Obviously, that can be in the middle of the night, could be on a holiday, on a weekend. Collis is there. And right now they're hiring for an insulation installer to join their team. They're seeking individuals with some form of construction experience. You can stop right into Collis in the showroom on Commercial Drive in Yorkville to apply, or you can download the application at fredfcollis.com/careers. Email the address listed on the website. Fred F. Collis and Sons, highly recommended.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Winter in central New York can be pretty unpredictable. Snow, freezing temperatures, or hazardous road conditions. You never know what to expect. One thing you can count on, though, is that Warner Sales and Service is here to help you get through the toughest part of the year. That's why we sell and service Bobcat equipment. It's the toughest and most trusted equipment on the market. We pride ourselves on the quality of our product and, most importantly, the quality of our service. It's our job to keep your businesses up and running, and we strive to go above and beyond for each and every one of our customers. You never know what to expect during winter, but you can always depend on us at Warner Sales and Service. Stop by and see us just off Route 365 in Rome. We are Warner Sales and Service, where quality still counts.
Ships building trust, Warner Sales and Service. Warner's, where quality still counts at Warner's.
New York Sash. You can do it all this year. Book your home improvement project with New York Sash. And right now, get this, they're giving away a free vacation. Schedule a price quote for a home improvement project with New York Sash, and they'll gift you with a cruise or luxury vacation voucher. It's a trip that you can take, the trip of your dreams. Cruise for 3 to 7 days on the top liners or location, or stay at your choice of 4,500 luxury resorts worldwide. There's no blackout, and you get 24 months to book. It's fully transferable as well. There are no restrictions on this. It's a great package, and all you need to do is schedule a price quote. It's the perfect gift. You don't have to choose between your home improvement project and a vacation. You can get both. Find out more by signing up for a no-cost, no-obligation price quote at newyorksash.com/vacation, or stop into the showroom today on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
And I should also say the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Daylight, try their lattes, coffee, espresso, and, of course, their bagels and donuts made fresh every day. Chuck Sedella, everybody, Chuck takes pride in that drive-thru. The fact that it is lightning fast. You're in and out, and you're on your way. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Anything else I have to cover here? Do I have everything covered at this point? And we have Dan in from Hemstrotz. Perfect timing, Dan. I'll have you take that microphone. And perfect timing because it's we're a week away from Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Bill, thanks for having me here today.
Good
It's nice
morning.
to see you and Jeff in the morning.
Morning.
So what have you brought in? You got a whole bunch of wonderful things over there.
You know, Bill, we love coming on to your show, and every time we come, we have something new. So one of the things I want to talk to you about today were bagels. Our man
Bagels?
Ernesto has
Okay.
turned us into bagels, but we're doing them in a real interesting way. Actually, I'll show you a couple.
Sure.
We are boiling them first,
Okay.
then
Oh,
baking
wow.
them. It's your authentic
How
Jewish
the
bagel.
New York style way.
New York style Jewish bagel. So they take a boil, 2 minutes, a minute on each side, and then they bake them in the hearth oven. It gives a nice golden crispiness to it.
Wow.
And you have to have that.
And I've shared some of my cream cheese with the studio today.
Oh,
Okay,
we have to
great.
talk about that. That is is that the triple cream cheese?
No, that's just a cream cheese meant to be applied to a bagel.
Oh, that you put on the. Is
triple
that
cream-
your cream cheese?
No, it's
Okay, got
produced
it.
for
Fair
us, yeah.
enough.
Uh-huh.
So,
But talk about the triple cream cheese. What is the difference between the two?
A triple cream cheese, by definition, has to have at least 75% butter fat in it.
Okay.
And a double cream cheese has to have over 60% minimum. And that's what gives it that lusciousness, that
Yeah,
almost tastes
yeah.
like butter effect.
We noticed the even the butter. It seems to be creamier. The butter that you get in Europe.
Yeah.
Because it's a higher fat content.
Higher butter fat content.
Makes
Yep.
all the difference in the world.
I'm not a bagel guy. These are delicious, though. I just want to describe the texture. First of all, a lot of times, like if we have a breakfast meeting, they'll put bagels out, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying, it's usually very firm. Like it's almost
day old.
Well, but I think they were bought fresh. But they're
Yeah.
But this has a softer texture, almost like you would get like a hot pretzel at a ball game or something like that. The texture, how it comes apart, it's very delicious.
That's part of the make process. We do the starter, then we produce the bagels, and then we let the bagels stay overnight, and then they're boiled, and then they're baked right after. And that's what contributes to the things you just mentioned, Jeff. The consistency of it is hard on the outside, soft inside, and great flavor.
Yeah,
Almost
great-
like a sweetness to it.
Yeah, that's delicious.
What else have you brought? I love your. We did this for Christmas. And the wooden box that it comes in, the cheeses. We gave these out for Christmas.
Yeah, Bill, and how did what people think of it?
Loved them. Everybody loved it.
Loved them. And, that's the expression we always get. And Valentine's is a special time. And what I always thought about Valentine's in these wood boxes is anybody could enjoy it.
Right,
But it's a
right.
perfect gift for him. If somebody gave me I'm not going to get roses for Valentine's
You're right,
Day. And I could
you're right.
maybe get a box of chocolates. But if somebody gave me this beautiful box, this romantic-looking box of cheeses from France, that's the ideal gift for a guy. And, of course, it's meant to share, so it's not just a nice tie or something. That
Well,
he
you're
would
giving a gift that you can enjoy too.
Yeah, that's right.
To me, that's
and it's communal,
everything.
and it's got a with wine, cheese. It's got a
Yeah.
romantic spin to it too. Of course, Hemstratz always has to come out for Utica. It's Valentine's Day. We can't leave you without, and we're offering chocolate and pink half moons for the Valentine's Day holiday.
Love it. And these, you've come up with a packaging that allows these to be shipped without. In the beginning, when they started shipping half moons, this was probably 5, 7, 8 years ago. They were all over the place. They were a mess by the time you got them.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with this packaging.
Yeah, it's the way the new plastic trays are with the dividers. You see the dividers,
Yeah.
so it's really locked in place.
Yeah.
It can't go up or down, and it can't go left to right. And plus, we're also packing them differently when we ship them now. We put in coolants, so they stay a little chilled to keep the
Mhm.
frosting intact. So we're always trying to think about making it a better customer experience.
yeah.
So when they get it, because when people get half moons, and we ship them all over the country, it's usually somebody from Utica who passed through Utica or lived in Utica. So there's a nostalgicness to the product. And the worst thing we want to do is when they get it, and it's just not what they expect.
What they remember, too, yeah.
All right, so, and of course the baguette. You're making incredible breads that you can pick up at Hemstratz as well.
And the bagels will be part of our ongoing plan, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, like our fried cakes. And if we get a couple weeks under our belt, then we're going to start doing them like they do in Manhattan. We're going to do individualized ones with salmon and red onion.
Okay, so sandwiches.
Yeah, nice individualized bagels stacked high, almost like a brunch in your hand.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And I'll just mention with the big game coming up on Sunday, you're going to have, like, normally I'll get together with the guys and watch a game, but it's mixed company now because the Super Bowl and the wives and girlfriends want to watch the commercials and everything. So I would strongly recommend this because it's great. to be able to get some cheese on a cracker. People be munching throughout the whole game, and especially with a mixed crowd, I strongly encourage.
It's perfect Super Bowl food. Yeah, get things started. Also for the Super Bowl, we did it a play on the colors. So we have 4 packs of Half Moons. 2 are red in chocolate and 2 are green in chocolate. So there's no fighting over the team colors.
Burn the green ones, please.
Yeah.
Burn
the green ones. Yeah. We're Giant fans, too.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. Hemstraughts and artisanal cheese, open 7 days a week. And
you got to try these bagels.
Right in Utica, and the bagels are really, really good and authentic. That's key for me. Love it. All right, stand by. We'll come right back. It's 8:23 at WIBX.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
At AmeriQ, we know that today, more than ever, real connections matter. And there's no better place to create meaningful connections than in your own home. Build a solid foundation with a construction loan from AmeriQ. Just like your home, our rates and terms are custom built for you, your project, and your budget. Connect with us at ameriq.org/build. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
It's February. You know what that means. Love is in the air. That's right. Valentine's Day is Tuesday, February 14th, and the Old Wicker Mill is your one-stop shop for all your Valentine gifts. Valentine's Day is a day to express your love. This year, give a beautiful gift of distinction that will be enjoyed for years to come. Let's think out of the box. For your little Valentine, we have a fun toy department with Nido, Coco Melon, Bluey, and Minecraft toys. Maybe your Valentine loves gardening. The Old Wicker Mill has a huge garden department. There's Beekman Bath & Body, Lolita wine glasses, touch lamps, Nora Fleming, Dr. Squatch soap, a large women's clothing department. We're your Vera Bradley headquarters, and of course we have traditional Valentine's gifts, cards, candy, and all the top jewelry brands like Pandora, Brighton, Swarovski, Ella Stein, Uno de 50, E. Newton, and so much more. So this Valentine's Day, express your love to all your Valentines with something special from the Old Wicker Mill located in the New Hartford Shopping Center, where everything we have is fun, functional, and affordable.
Hi, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opiates after a surgery 2 years ago, a broken bone last year, and a dental procedure last month. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. Holding on to unused medication like opiates puts your family at risk. Remove the risk by getting 2 free medication disposal bags mailed directly to your home. Hurry and don't delay. There's a limited supply.
Go to ocopioidtaskforce.org.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I got more people. There are more people questioning the free money question on who beat whose record. So this is what I have. LeBron James passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. That, of course, happened on February 7th, 2023, last night. Abdul-Jabbar had been atop the career points list since April 5th, 1984, when he broke the mark previously held by Wilt Chamberlain. That's what I have. But some are saying, and we've had a few.
And who are they saying it was? Jordan?
Karl Malone. But then Larry has popped in here. Let's see what Larry says, because he was all over this earlier. He said he did not pass Wilt Chamberlain. I believe it was Karl Malone. Then Larry said, my bad. All the other guys came after Kareem. So that's why it's getting confusing.
Gotcha.
So you're looking at the all-time points list, What the question was is who did he pass? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, at the time that he broke the record, he broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. Since then, others have scored more than Wilt Chamberlain. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But when the record
and
was...
Karl Malone, I believe, is one of them.
And Karl Malone is one of them. And when the record was broken, however, he did beat Wilt Chamberlain's record.
Karl Malone, a stalwart with the Utah Jazz, an outstanding player, really tremendous. Delivered. They called him the mailman because he delivered everything but a championship. Great career, but
Magic Bill Howard on the line. Bill in Rome. Good morning.
Well, hello, Bill.
Is that what Stefan will sound like when he's 80?
You saying Bill's 80?
And Bill's not 80, but he was given the sound of a much older person. So, good morning, Bill. What's going on?
Good morning. I just want to encourage people to come out and see Karen this weekend.
So, Bill is talking about Karen Runtowski, and she will be headlining this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club. And if you're looking for something to do on Valentine's weekend, it's kind of what this is, right? Mm-hmm. She's doing what she calls psychic comedy. We'll have her in studio on Friday. And she combines, she is a phenomenal stand-up comic. She's been on Letterman. She's been all over the country doing incredible comedy. And we have her here this weekend. And she's combining her amazing comedy with her unbelievable knowledge of the psychic world. And it's a hilarious show. And perfect for those interested in the psychic world. Perfect for the ladies on Valentine's. And Will Phillips is actually from here. He'll be featuring as well. Will travels the country on the weekends, but during the week, he does afternoons on 96.9 WOUR.
And when you say from here, literally the studio next door.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go, Bill. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I listen, the past few weeks at Fat Cats have been off the hook, really. And I think Karen's going to keep it going.
All right, cool. And then, of course, next week, Jimmy's in town.
Yeah, you've had some excellent comedians, and I love Bill. His comedy, Magic Bill, of course. I love his comedy. His magic is incredible. And he wowed us at the station Christmas party going back a month ago.
No doubt. William, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
right.
Jeff.
Bill in Rome. Starbucks. A Tulsa man was accidentally charged over $4,000 for 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. How does that happen?
Oh, he got two cups? I think it's about $4,000, I think. That's what they charge.
Employees say it happened because a sticky button on the cash register just kept charging him over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Here's Jesse Odell talking about how he was charged on his credit card $4,000 for 2 cups of coffee.
It was $4,444.44. This is a real shock. We contacted their customer service helpline probably 30, 40 times that day. They assured us that they are sending new checks. But as of today, we still have not fully finished this situation. We still haven't received checks.
Wow. They're sending a check. They can't credit the account?
A check? Why not credit the account? I don't get that.
Yeah.
Well, that would take a few days to credit. So maybe they're trying to do it instantly and say, here, you can cash this check. So we're sending you money. But he says he still doesn't have it to make up for the overcharge. Will Aaron Rodgers return next season? If so, where? He'll decide when he's done with what he's doing right now. He's calling it a darkness isolation retreat. What is that?
I have no idea. Just like when Danny Jones drops back in the pocket and he throws it into a crowd of 4 players, 3 of them are defenders. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Here is Aaron Rodgers explaining what a darkness isolation retreat is.
It's 4 nights of complete darkness. It's a darkness retreat. I've had, a number of friends who've done it and had some profound experiences, and it's something that's been on my radar for a few years now, and I felt like it'd be awesome to do regardless of where I was leaning. It's coming up in a couple weeks. It's a room. It's a little house. There's a 2-way, like a little slot that they'll drop in some food for you. No music, no nothing. Just myself.
Couldn't he get arrested and just go to solitary confinement?
4 days of complete darkness. You cannot see a thing. I wonder what that would be like. Because it's not often that you put yourself in a position, unless you're blind.
Right.
It's not often you're in a position where there's absolutely no light. Right? Think about it. You might have an alarm clock.
Right.
Your charging phone has a dim light on it. Maybe there's a little red LED light that shows the charger's on. I mean, you'll a little crack in the window and the moonlight comes in, or the street light from across the street. There's always some sort of light that makes it into a room. It's not often that you end up in a place where you're 100% in the darkness.
So, midlife crisis? He went away and did the ayahuasca thing.
He is. And the
He's
ayahuasca
like a troubled
thing,
soul.
The ayahuasca thing I wonder about as well. Because in the NFL, they do drug testing?
They do.
And he's really going off and taking drugs.
Yeah, I don't know that they test for that, though.
Okay.
I don't think that they test for that.
Must be they don't.
I've never heard of somebody saying, like, I went to a job interview and they drug tested me and they were looking for marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and ayahuasca. Right? That's not something ever that's really, I think, you can find in this country unless it's probably illegally smuggled over here. But back to Rodgers for a second.
I think he's going through some sort of a weird, you're right, a mid-career crisis is what you'd call it.
Well, and for him to say
end-of-career crisis.
For him to say, I mean, look, Brady went through a divorce before he finally gave it up. But for him to say, I've heard other people have done it and they've had some benefits and I want to experiment with it. He just did the ayahuasca thing. He's still looking for some release or what's the word I want to use? Some counseling.
He's looking for the light. He's looking for the
guidance.
answer. He's looking for happiness or peace. I don't know what it is, but it's odd. I find it odd coming from a football player. It's almost like Tony Soprano going to see a therapist. Mob people don't do that. The guys in the mob don't go to. What are you gonna say to these people? Right? That was the whole thing about Sopranos.
You talk to them about us.
Yeah, I hope you're not telling any secrets. This is a little bit older, but it's making the rounds again, and it kind of reminds us what to do, what not to do. It's a DoorDash driver arguing with a customer on their Ring camera about the size of the tip that was left for them. Obviously, the tip was not large enough.
I believe it. No, I could speak to you, actually. I don't think you realize the distance that it's come from. Because I drove 40 minutes, so I don't think you realize where you work from.
I don't understand.
Do you realize how far it is?
That's a 15, 20-minute drive.
It's not. It's 12 and a half miles. So I think you need to adjust your tip.
How much is the tip?
You gave an $8 tip.
What the hell are you looking for? I gave an $8.
Okay, I'm going to bring the food back. I'm going to bring the food back. Okay.
Wow. Fire her immediately.
$8? What the
I think they're independent contractors, but don't use her anymore. She should have had a better than $8 tip, she believes. $8 is a pretty good tip.
Confession, I just started dashing last night. I'm not kidding.
Are you driving and
Yes.
dashing?
Yes. I'm not kidding. Yeah, I just started as a little side hustle.
You mean you're going and you're ordering food, you're eating, and then you're taking off? Or you are you're door dashing. You've become mellow tested with food.
You know, part of that I kept thinking about, and he's right. I'll tell you. I was on the road for like 3.5 hours last night. And
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're door dashing.
I would have loved an $8 tip, but I didn't have to go that far for any of my deliveries.
Wow.
But people were generous. Only one person didn't tip me. I think I did 8 or 9 last night.
Is somebody going to be like, I just got my food? You're not going to believe it. Jeff Manaski just brought me my food.
Look, I'll tell you, I'll get there quick, and I'm reliable. So the only person who didn't tip me was a college student over at MV, and I understood. But everybody else was pretty generous, and I was getting,
Did you take the food back?
No,
that's what
no.
This person did.
No, absolutely not.
Are you an independent contractor or do
Yeah.
you work for them?
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
I have many questions on DoorDash.
Oh, start asking because I'm learning as I go, and I got very frustrated and almost threw my phone out the window last night because DoorDash, obviously, they are the middleman providing a great service to people, right? Especially the late-night deliveries. I know one person in particular had been throwing a few back, so they shouldn't be on the road, so I'll bring your food to you.
How late were you driving last night?
Till about 2 o'clock.
Are you 2 in the morning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you know this, Davey?
Yeah, he told me about it the other day we discussed.
Okay. I had no clue.
So here's the thing. I was frustrated last night because...
Can you request a DoorDash driver I'm looking for. Can you request a driver?
I don't think so, but if you text me directly, I'll bring you food.
I think you can. We could do it on the side. There'll be no deals outside of the DoorDash platform, right? It's like eBay says, don't cut any deals outside of eBay because we'll kick you off the system.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here was the thing, and I can't believe a company that size didn't know this, and maybe certain offices have different hours. Smitty, what time does the Rome McDonald's close?
Midnight.
11 o'clock. You were close. So I get a text and an offer. It'll tell you, do you want to accept this offer? And based on where I was in East Utica, it was to drive to Rome, pick up a McDonald's order, and then drop it off at somebody's house. And so typically you're looking anywhere from like $6 to $9 for a delivery. This one was offering $15. So I said, I'll hop on that. I got to drive to Rome, but, I don't mind driving. So I go all the way out there. It says the order's ready. I pull up. The place had been closed for 90 minutes. There was a lady in there cleaning. I knocked on the window, the drive-through window. She goes, I'm sorry, we close at 11. It says the order's ready right here. You don't have an order back there? She goes, no, we've been closed for like 90 minutes.
Right.
So it was a wasted trip. I get no money or compensation for that. So I was kind of annoyed about that.
Are there is there more than one McDonald's? There's got to be another McDonald's. There's got to be two, at least two in Rome, right?
There's another one down on Erie Boulevard West.
Maybe.
So the way this works, though, is
it tells you where to go.
It takes you to the store.
Oh, you follow like a GPS.
Like a GPS, yeah. So it's not like, hey, we have an order at McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King. It's, do you want this order? And then it guides you to where you got to go.
So do you get paid for that?
I get nothing for that. I was so annoyed about it.
Yeah.
So you went to the one on Black River Boulevard.
Just when you get out of the base.
Yep. That closes at 11.
Yeah.
How does they not know that?
I have.
I feel bad for the guy. If he's listening, I'll bring you the food today. I feel bad. He probably waited up 2 hours for food that he never got.
That never showed up. Mayor Mark Blask of Little Falls said, please tell Jeff I've been waiting on my wings for 10 freaking hours.
Mayor, I'll make it up to you, I promise.
Do you get any? So as DoorDash, will you get an order that comes from the Valley? Would you get one from?
So I believe I could. The way this is broken down, though, is a Utica Rome Metro. And I was actually thinking last night that I'd like to jump into Herkimer County because I don't know how many deliveries, how many drivers are out there. But it basically considers a Utica Rome Metro.
Okay.
Which part of the problem with that is like it includes Camden. So I could be in East Utica at the Mohawk Street McDonald's. And then they're like, all right, next order is Camden.
You don't have to take that order, do you?
You don't have to take it, no.
Okay,
But again, I was just getting my feet wet last night, and everything was $6 or $7, and I said, for 15, let me go out there.
I was thinking once that I would just take a weekend and be an Uber driver. I was thinking about it, and I was going to put hidden cameras in the car and tape everybody. But then I was told that was illegal, so I didn't do it.
You could do it for your own entertainment.
I think it would be pretty entertaining, wouldn't it? Right? But I'd be the best Uber driver. I'd bring waters for everybody. If you look in the back, I got a little cup of M&Ms if you want to try some, stuff like that. I would want people to have a great experience.
Peanut or plain?
Peanut or plain. I do prefer the peanut.
Imagine if Jeff got a DoorDash from Stefan.
It might happen now. I mean, it might happen.
You know what? It's kind of, again, if I'm doing it late night, out on the road, it gets lonely out there. Maybe I'll pick him up as my traveling companion.
He could ride with you. And what do you take pictures when the food you do?
Yeah.
Is that the thing? You take a picture of the food when it's on the doorstep.
Yeah, they'll give you instructions. Like, so the kid at the college that I dropped off to,
he did not tip you.
He didn't. But again, he's a college student.
Well, if you can afford to pay the premium price to have it delivered and not get off your lazy rear end and go out and pick the food up yourself, then you should be able to afford a tip. I'm sorry. College or no college.
I'm going to send you his number, and I want you to send him a nasty text message.
I would knock on his door like this person did. I cannot believe how your eyes lit up when I played the DoorDash driver.
She's so out of line.
Arguing over a tip.
Okay, so here's how it works, right? Again, I've got it open right here. You decide in advance whether or not you want this. It tells you what your tip will be. It tells you your fee for the delivery that comes through DoorDash.
So you accept it.
You accept it out of the gate, and it'll tell you, okay, so let's say you're going to get $9.75 for an order. It'll tell you $4.50 is for the DoorDash fee, and then $5 was from the tip. You know in advance.
Okay.
She cannot show up afterward complaining, I only got an $8 tip. You knew before you accepted the order what you were going to get.
The other morning,
and you don't have to accept every order. If it's out of your way, don't do it.
The other morning, it was Friday. We were just interviewing Willie Waffle, who is back on the show in the mornings in the 6 o'clock hour. And we had news top of the hour. And you said, does Davey have to pick up the comedian? And I said, no. Now I know. You were door dashing. You were delivering somebody food. Jeff left the entire building. He was gone for 20 minutes, got back just in time for the news.
Two birds with one stone. By the way, I got an extra tip because the comedian was telling jokes to the people who were waiting on the food, so they hooked me up.
Love it. Okay, DoorDash Jeff. There you have it. Coming up, we'll speak about, I really want to get into people's impression of Joe Biden last night. And I believe this happened during Trump, and it's happened during Biden, where I think you expect and you lower the expectations so much that when you actually watch the State of the Union, you're like, wow, he did a really good job. I can't believe how well he did. You know why? Because I expected it to be awful. And I really don't think it was. We'll talk to Ryan about that coming up in a second. In fact, I think Joe Biden had a couple of victories last night. He took advantage of a few ad libs, so that surprised me. We'll speak with Ryan Nobles from NBC coming up in a second. Before we go there, though, Jeff's DoorDash partner, Stefan, is on the line. Good morning, Stefan Rubitsky.
Well, hello, Bill.
Good morning. Good morning, Stefan.
Good morning. Now, the other day, former New Hartford football coach Don Edick passed away.
I saw that.
Yeah,
very sad.
91, I think. Was he 91?
I believe he was from Rome. He was from Rome, Don Edick, and I believe he was 91. And what a great football coach, and did a lot of commentary on high school football with WKTV after he had retired from coaching.
And they even have the field named after him, Don Edick Field, up at New Hartford High School.
We'll speak with Ryan Nobles about him as well, because I know Ryan was doing his noble attempt. If you remember, he would go out. A lot of times it was a sports attempt, and the schools would challenge him to come out and do something, and Ryan on camera would go out and do his noble best. He would do a noble attempt, and we'll speak with him about that and the passing of Don Edick. Good stuff there, Stefan. Thank you for reminding us of that.
You're welcome, Bill.
All right, have a great day, Stefan Rubitsky. I want to tell you about Ricky Z. If you're looking for a brand new or pre-owned Mazda or a pre-owned vehicle, they have great vehicles on the lot. Brand new 2023 Mazdas, and they are beautiful. This is a hot brand right now. Interior, exterior, the gas mileage, the dependability, it's all there. Love my CX-9, and the facility at Steep Pawnee Mazda is incredible. The buying experience, completely different. So if you're looking for a new vehicle, or you're even considering, make a stop and say hi to Ricky Z at Steep Pawnee Mazda. Family owned and operated. Steep Pawnee Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
At AmeriQ, we know that today, more than ever, real connections matter. And there's no better place to create meaningful connections than in your own home. Build a solid foundation with a construction loan from AmeriQ. Just like your home, our rates and terms are custom built for you, your project, and your budget. Connect with us at ameriq.org/build. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning, good morning. Ryan Nobles is with NBC, and he's on the line right now. Or is he? There he is now. Ryan Nobles, good morning.
Hey, Bill, good morning. How are you?
Gotcha. I don't know what's going on with our phone lines. It's terrible.
Can I just quickly wrap up last segment? Christine and Big Honey both called me out for eating a bagel on the air. And Christine actually said Jeff needs to mute his mic while he's chomping on bagels on the air. And she's absolutely right. I apologize.
It's true, and I got to tell you something. My wife hates that.
Additionally,
so she's right.
Chris says that she agrees with you, and the lazy kid could afford to order, so he owes me a tip.
That's absolutely right. He owes a tip.
Okay. Well, look, hey, would have put more money in my pocket.
Ryan, do you remember Dick Edick passing away? Don Edick. I'm sorry. Don Edick from New Hartford, and you did your noble attempts. I think you did a couple over in New Hartford.
Well, Bill, just let me tell you, Don Edick, we did the Sports Express together, and he and I had such a close relationship with him. He's among probably the top 5 people that I got to meet and had an impact in my life when I lived in Utica.
Wow.
And Coach Edick and I, in the summer, in August, during football training camps, would literally drive to every single high school in the WKTV viewing area to interview the coaches and players for our big high school football preview show that would air on the Thursday night before the first Friday night game. I worked on that.
Well, that's really
KTV.
Yeah. Wow. I guess I didn't realize you had such a close relationship with him.
Oh, and so Coach Edick and I, Coach Edick, at that time I did the math yesterday when I heard he passed. He was 68 years old at that time. I was 23.
Wow.
And we would get in a car and drive hundreds and hundreds of miles to Cooperstown, out to, Waterville, Dollarville, you name it. We were all these places. And he would just tell the greatest stories about coaching. He talked about his military service. He taught me so many lessons about life and kids and marriage. He had a wonderful marriage to his wife who passed away a couple of years ago. And then we also used to golf every Tuesday up at Stonebridge, the Observer Dispatch. And Carrie used to joke at that time that my best friend in the world was a 68-year-old man when I was 23.
Yeah. Wow.
Because Coach Edick and I had such a wonderful relationship. And he even, when I ran for the state assembly, he gave the speech to introduce me way back in 2002.
I remember that.
He was a man who had an enormous impact on my life. He was one of the most principled men of the most highest integrity. If you talk to anybody who had him as a coach, any parent whose sons played for him, praise him to the hilt. He was a wonderful, wonderful human being, and I'm so sad that he's gone. He lived a long, wonderful life, and there are so many people in that community. You're right. He was born in Rome, and then kind of made his mark in New Hartford. His son was the head coach of the SUNY Poly baseball team for 25 years, I think, something along those lines. Started that program. So he's just unbelievable guy, and I'll miss him dearly. And I appreciate you giving me the chance to talk about him because
Yeah.
I just loved him.
Well, I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to speak about him, and it sounds like he was just the greatest guy. I've heard other people say the same things. The stories and the life lessons that they received from Don Edick, pretty amazing.
He used to joke. This one last thing. He used to joke because he spent so much time with us at the TV station.
Yeah.
On a pretty much volunteer basis. I think they paid him a little bit, but it wasn't much. And he used to joke that his wife said to him after he stopped coaching that he was going crazy. He was climbing the walls, and doing this stuff with us at WKTV was such an outlet for him because it kept him connected to the game, connected to the kids, connected to the coaches. And it meant so much to him, and we got so much out of it. It was such a win-win situation, and we just loved it so much.
The news is Don Edick, legendary coach in the area, and as Ryan says, really TV personality, has passed away at the age of 91. Did you? What was your take on Biden last night? I feel maybe I just lowered the bar so much that my expectations are so low. I feel like he did really well last night.
Well, first of all, you're 100% right that your impression of how a politician performs in a setting like that is completely contingent on your expectations.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you've got low expectations, it's much easier to clear that bar. And I don't think you're alone when you look at polling numbers. He's still less than half of the country has a favorable impression of the job that he's doing as president. And I think we had a poll yesterday that's something along the lines of 70% of Americans believe the country's headed on the wrong track, which is just a terrible number for a sitting president. So, he came in with the deck kind of low, and I agree. We sometimes forget that this guy's been in this for a really long time. Giving speeches is something that comes as a second nature to him, but I don't think that we can underestimate the hostile environment that he played to last night.
Yeah,
I know that we've kind of grown numb to kind of the vitriol in politics, but if you remember, I don't think it was 15 years ago probably now when Joe Wilson yelled, "You lie," to Barack Obama, that was like a controversy that lasted a month. There was talk of him being censured, and there was all kinds of controversies surrounding that. All night long, Republicans were hooting and hollering at Biden throughout the speech, and I was pretty impressed with how he was able to bat it back and even kind of turn it against him at one point. The whole riff about the threat to entitlement programs, where he basically got them all to give a standing ovation to agree that they weren't going to touch Social Security and Medicare, was a pretty deft move. So, yes, I agree with you. I think he outperformed expectations that were already low, but I think there's no doubt that this sets the stage for his pending announcement that he's going to run for re-election.
I'm shocked that he is going to announce he's going to run. What is he thinking when I just don't understand how he could perform again for another 4 years after, which is 2 years away, by the way.
Right. Well, it's interesting you say that, Bill, because I covered Tim Kaine's announcement the other day that he was going to run for re-election again in 2024. And he said the thing about announcing about a re-election campaign is you're not pledging, in the case of a Senate race, 6 years, but in the case of a presidency, you're not pledging for 4 years. You're really pledging for 6 years, right? You're saying, as of today, that I'm committed to doing this for the next 6 years. And that may not mean that much to most of us that are in middle age or younger, but when you're 80 years old, play that out. He could potentially be 86 at the end of that presidency.
Yeah.
And so I do think it is perilous for Democrats. I think that when you combine his polling numbers associated with his age, and I do think his age is, the overwhelming factor in people's lack of confidence in him. And I think what he tried to show last night was that even though he is 80 years old, that his administration had accomplished quite a bit over the past 2 years, and that he's poised to do it again. But the thing it's very difficult to tell an incumbent president not to run for re-election. If he wants to do it, it's going to be very difficult for Democrats to convince him otherwise. And then the other final point I'll make about that, Bill, is there's not an obvious consensus pick to be the person if it's not him. There's not a lot of confidence in Kamala Harris right now. Pete Buttigieg is still maybe not ready for that big of a primetime stage. You've got, is Bernie Sanders going to run again? Gavin Newsom in California, maybe Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. All of them have potential flaws. So, all of those things combined make Biden the odds-on favorite to be the Democratic nominee. And then don't forget, he's the only one that's beat Donald Trump, which is, of course, the most important thing to Democrats.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. He got there were issues identified. I actually want to give the president credit because I didn't feel it was very divisive. I thought he focused on issues that maybe both parties could get behind. One of them was securing the border. I know Republicans were screaming at him to do that. And I think what both sides see as addressing the crisis are different things, but at least they can agree to start someplace. And some would argue, in fact, Bernie messaging in, someone should do a drug test on Joe Biden for performance-enhancing drugs. I bet they would find stuff that would surprise any veteran.
I got to tell you, I was wondering, what did is he on, jack him up on caffeine? What did they do? Because he was peppy last night.
But I'll segue that into the pharmacy thing was another thing that seemed to get bipartisan support. Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Well, the one thing I would say about his performance is, there's an enormous amount of time to prep for a State of the Union, and I'm sure that most of his last 2 weeks have been spent singularly focused on nailing this speech. And a lot of the times where he makes these kind of goofy gaps or comes across as a little spacey or not prepared are moments where he's caught off the cuff. I think his advisors would much prefer that he just ignore us standing outside his airplane when he gets off the airplane or walking in to the Oval Office off Marine One, because that's not where he's at his finest.
Right.
Biden's always been a very good public speaker. When he sticks to the script, he can deliver a script as well as anyone, maybe not Barack Obama level, but he's certainly among the best. It's when he tries to ad-lib that he gets into trouble.
Yeah.
But to your point, Bill, that's where he actually shined last night. I was most surprised at his ability to kind of deal with the conditions and get through it.
Yeah, I totally was.
I love it. So that settles it. So we're not getting rid of the entitlement programs. I mean, it was a great job by him.
I thought he did well.
Yeah.
Ryan, we appreciate the time, and certainly you're sharing the stories about Don Edick. Thank you. Have a great day, great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it.
All
You guys have a good one.
Thank you so much. WIBX, Utica, Rome. We're back here tomorrow. Enjoy your day. It's 9 o'clock.
He said his job is far from being done. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As President Biden called the state of our union strong, he said this over and over.
We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination. Let's finish the job. We got to finish the job. Let's finish the job.
And while Democrats cheered over and over as he touted his economic progress,
12 million new jobs, more jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all. Because of the American people.
He got boos from Republicans.
Look.
They were upset that he claimed some of them want to get rid of Social Security and Medicare.